Yo guys, what's up? Hey everyone! Happy Thursday, guys. Really good to see everyone, man. Yo, Zeno, what's up? The King Wrench here. The first wrench that look, the first wrench that pulls up comments is the King Wrench. So Zeno, the producer, is King Wrench, and it's good to see it, bro. How you doing? Astro Cyborg, he was like, am I late for a cope session? No. I don't know how many of y'all played Redfall, but I did. Because, for me, Game Pass, PC Game Pass is pretty much like, it's a glorified demo trier. It's like, you have free reign to try whatever you want. So, I tried Redfall. I was actually considering whether I wanted to boot it or not because I was kind of scared it was going to F up my PC. You just can't be too you can't be too careful nowadays, guys. Due to video game development or lack thereof. So you definitely can't be too cautious. But real quick, guys, MK says he's been waiting for this. Hey, it's good to have you here, bro. Boot Jerker, what's up? He said, what's good? The skinny popcorn is fire. Yes. Yeah, we eating popcorn here, guys. Fierce, apathetic Black Queen, it's really good to see you as always. Tolkien Daily, what's up? Saying 2024 is going to be Xbox this year, just you wait. Ark was excited to be here on time, and good to see you. I hope you're doing well. And Remnant, bro, we need to have you on a podcast, man. I don't know if you're into that. I know you're kind of just do your thing and, in the community, drop your vids, keep it moving. Very respectable in that way. If you ever do want to be on the Too Real for Feels podcast, man, let me know. I think Revenant has a stern voice in the community, and I respect that, man. I respect that because so many people are so fickle. They just go whatever, man. Fair weather. That's what they are, The lack of consistency is problematic to me. That's why I'm here. Okay, guys, so that's what it is. Alex vs. Evil was good with you. Sergeant Sentinel Gaming, what is up, bro? What is up? Yo, that's a good dude right there, man. Neozoic says, May the 4th to everyone. Yeah, I wore my Star Wars hat today, even though I'm not really much of a Star Wars fan anymore. Neither am I neither am I much of a Sixers fan anymore, okay? Fucking, what's his name? Killed my love of, my small, short-lived love of basketball in Pennsylvania. Terrible, short-lived. Because when I moved out here, I just wanted to find some form of connection to this state. And I said, hey, let me start watching the Philly Sixers because they're like an up-and-coming, scrappy team. Yeah, killed it for me, man. Killed it for me. But yes, May the 4th be with you, and I mean that in a very traditional Star Wars sense. So, yo, Otaku the Great, what's good? Words of Paradise. What is good with you, bro? Always good to see you. Good to see you. Let me see. Admiral Teague said, hail Triple C, I need some cope tonight. Yo, there's plenty of cope out here for everyone. Hold on, let me turn on my overlay. I forgot all about that. There we go. Delta! We're getting into the meat and potatoes. Look, there's definitely a few things to talk about. Obviously, the elephant in the room is Xbox, but there's definitely a few things that need to be addressed that are interesting overall. Definitely interesting to say the least. So let's move OBS to my side screen right here. Hey, yo, Taku, you gonna be on pod, bro? You gonna be on Words of Paradise's podcast? Bro, I need to see it. Let's do it. Let's do it. But I hope you're having a good Thursday, guys. All right, so let me see here. I have to bring up this funny tweet. This one killed me inside. Killed me in the best way possible. Who knew death could be so sweet, guys? Shout out to Jack Mujani. Dude is absolutely hilarious. He leaked, the case for The Last of Us, part 3. And this is the cover. Yo, I saw this, I fucking died. Yo, I was dead. Yes, fuck Abby. Fuck that stupid bitch, okay? Terrible. But we got Jack Move doing his thing, man. He's been through it, clearly. Clearly in The Last of Us Part 3, Jack Move been through it, man, but he's still there. He's still supporting the LGBT, Q plus ABC. Even in a post-apocalyptic time where none of that shit gonna matter no more, besides feeding your family and keeping yourself alive. But yo, big support. And then here's the back. We got BG and Smooth too in Brooklyn. Yo, that shit is funny, dog. Can't tell me nothing. And then on the M rating, it says violence, blood, sex scenes, gore, and Bond tales. Yo, I had to kick it off with that, man. That had me done. That was good. That was a good edit, man. Shout out to whoever Jack Move got that from. Oh man. But look, man, it's no secret that Redfall is fucking trash. I played 2 hours of it. That's 2 hours of my life I can't get back. Shout out to anyone who played that shit for more than 2 hours. Y'all enjoy pain and suffering. Some people are into that shit, man. It's a kink. It's a kink. And in gaming, I believe it's still a kink. Some people enjoy to suffer in gaming. Yo, Scargut, man. Thank you so much for the 2, bro. Totally didn't have to. He said, back cover looks like Sony's woke. Yo, extremely, bro. I mean, it's no secret. It's no secret that they want to appeal to woke Hollywood, you know? The ad looks good. Deceptive. But right here, they said, I can only imagine how mad the Xbox community is right now having this guy do his bait face on Redfall's debut. Bro, yo, why is every Dreamcast guy thumbnail, his mouth is open? It's like, bro, if you need 15 grand in dental care, in the very least, don't make my eyes suffer for your lack thereof of dental care. Okay, bro? I don't want to see your teeth. I don't want to see your mouth open. Just, yo, close that shit. What you do in your bedroom is your business, bro. Don't bring it out here to your thumbnails. That's all I'm saying. Don't do this. Stop it. I'm gonna have to make a GoFundMe. Be like, GoFundMe to help raise money for Dreamcast guy's teeth. But in order for him to claim this money, he must now stop opening his mouth in his thumbnails. It'll be truly ironic if he does get like a whole new set of teeth, like Boogie 2988, and then he ends up having his mouth closed and all his thumbnails after. I feel like that's gonna happen. And you know I'm gonna call that shit out. Bro, how can Dreamcast guy shave? He can't shave, bro. Look, man. I'm no expert on skincare. Let's just put it that way. It's hard to shave that face. That's like shaving the moon. It don't work. It don't work. It is what it is. He wouldn't let, man, I think that he should grow a full beard. Okay? I don't know, put like, what is it, Miracle Grow? He needs to put some Miracle Grow on that. He's out of control. Yo, censorship. ING sock. I don't even know how to say that, but censorship. I'm against it, sir. I'm against you. No, obviously, it's all love, fam. It's all love. And I thought that I grew a shite beard. I grow a shite beard too, bro. 1984. I got you the book. I don't read, guys. Look, I'm wearing glasses. I still can't read. Look, jokes. Look, I joke on everybody, including myself. I'm not gonna sit here and not accept a joke or even joke on myself, man. Life is just one big joke. This is the clown world. So the less you take seriously, the better. That's all I'm saying. The bad guys in 1984. I thank you for definitely informing me of that, because I'm not really well informed on 1984. I've heard many things. Hey, no problem, Ark, man. I appreciate you dropping by, hanging out with us. Enjoy yourself, man. Keep calling man, but I call everyone man or bro. I'm sorry. Much love to Ark, man. Much love. Go enjoy yourself. Have a good rest of your night. Your users making fun of YouTube strict TOS. I appreciate you for making fun of that. Please undermine YouTube and their TOS, because they do a good job of fucking me. But yeah, I thought that was funny. Homeboy needs to close his mouth. But here's, man, F in the chat. The people of Saudi Arabia are unfortunately not going to be able to experience Final Fantasy 16. It's been banned from release in Saudi. I don't know if homies in Saudi know Americans that could ship that shit to them, and whatever you have to do to spread the good word. To spread the good word of Final Fantasy 16. To spread the love of good games. I hope it's a good game, man. You know how broken I'll be if Final Fantasy 16 is trash? Now, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. If that shit is ass, you see me out here depressed. You'll see me out here like, yo, I won't be drinking no coffee. My will to live will be weak. That's how I felt after Cyberpunk, bro. But yeah, it does really suck for Saudi Arabian gamers. As a fan of video games, I want everyone to be able to have great experiences with video games. That's why, exclusivity, all these companies like PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, buying exclusivity to take it away from essentially gamers, to take games away from gamers. I'm not into that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's their business, it's their deal between said company, but that doesn't mean I necessarily like it. That's what it is. Yo, Rocky, what's good with you, bro? You saw The Last of Us 3 pictures. I think Saudi's the ones whose country where no one needs to actually work. They're on top of an ocean of oil. You're not kidding. Yeah, I mean, look, there's no secret to how Saudi Arabia is when it comes to particularly homosexuality. That's probably what revolves around this from what I've seen. I don't want to get into spoiler levels, but there's inklings that apparently, there might be a gay character in the game. I'm not sure. That might not be the case. I could be completely wrong. But this is a mature rated game. Final Fantasy 16 is a true endeavor into mature storytelling. So it's interesting. But over the years, Saudi Arabia has banned a wide variety of different reasons. These reasons include violence, gambling, nudity, sexual themes, use of drugs and alcohol, and more. Popular games banned in Saudi include the God of War series, Grand Theft Auto series, and The Last of Us 2 and more. So, I mean, look, it could be that it's just excessively violent. It could be that there's a gay character. It could be that there's gambling involved. We don't know for sure. Now, I don't want to get into the whole spoiler thing about it. But, yeah, this sucks, man. This sucks. It would have been nice for gamers in Saudi to play the game. I know that they could get it by other means, especially if they have connections outside of their country. So I hope that whoever truly does want to play the game can play the game. But this sucks, man. But in other news, apparently there's a prequel comic to Marvel Spider-Man 2. Now, personally, I'm pretty interested in Marvel Spider-Man 2, particularly because I like the first game. When it comes to Marvel Spider-Man, it's one of those games where it's an awesome time to play the first time, but then like replaying it, not nearly as much fun, especially with like the nonsensical side quests and the walking segments or Mary Jane, Peter Parker segments where you're just doing bullshit. I miss games that had a lot less bullshit in them. But I mean, so it's going to be a comic book on Free Comic Book Day, the only day where people actually do visit a comic book store. So if you're going to go to a comic book store on Free Comic Book Day to buy Spider-Man 2, I highly urge you to purchase a used comic book because it does go directly to the comic book shop. Don't buy any new shit. Fuck Marvel and DC. They get a cut of that. Go to the back of the store, pick out some old 90s, 80s, X-Men comics, because that all goes to the actual store. Yeah, most Sony games are one and done. I mean, it depends. It varies. It's one of those like I can go back to Ghost of Tsushima. You know why? Because for the most part, like they put you in that world, they give you the story, and then they just let you play. It's no bullshit. The same thing with what is it? Days Gone. I enjoyed Days Gone. Those are like my two favorite games last gen. Because they just let you play the game. No nonsense attached. No serious attempts at being overly cinematic to where it constrains the player. Hope Final Fantasy 16 is optimized well for Windows 11. I hope it's optimized all around, man. I hope if it's a genuinely good game, I hope it's optimized all around. I mean, who knows when it's coming to PC? It's likely 6 months to a year, probably a year. It's crazy how, I don't know. It's probably going to be like a year. That seems to be the best case. Michael Joe, what's good with you, bro? Oh, Astro. MJ segments in Marvel Spider-Man are fucking garbage. I bought Marvel Spider-Man on PC because obviously I want to support the, Sony's games coming to PC. So I bought it, and immediately off the bat, Mary Jane's dialogue is insufferable. This is like the first half hour of the game shit I'm talking about. Yo, fuck Norris, let's go with you, fam. Hey, Dragon Slayer commentaries, what's up? Big shout out to Dragon Slayer. Grim Dawn literally just drops you off in a post-apocalyptic Victorian era dark fantasy world where you get the lore through notes and you find while exploring. Yeah, like stuff like that is awesome, man. I don't really like the overly cinematic. It's just crazy to me. This really puts it into perspective, guys. Actual film nowadays has no film grain in it. It's all digital. They want it to look super squeaky clean to where it looks fake. Just everything in film looks fake as fuck. So film grain isn't in film anymore, but film grain is now present in video games. That doesn't say everything that needs to be said, but how gaming is nowadays, or just how fucked up and ridiculous and just ass backwards the world is. I don't know what does. It should be called game grain. Because film grain isn't a thing anymore in film. It's in video games. Looking forward to Marvel Spider-Man 2 game. Yeah, I am too. It's gonna be interesting. But I'm waiting to see anything. Who knows if it's even coming out this year? We know nothing. All we've seen is that CGI trailer. And given, obviously when they do show it off and everything looks good, I'm gonna be hyped. But right now, we ain't seen shit. And PlayStation, for the most part, has been a no-show this year. We're gonna have to, yo, honestly, PlayStation deserves that work, just like Xbox got that work last year. Xbox ain't show up. What, Scorn? What the fuck was that? Garbage. Xbox was a no-show last year, and so far, PlayStation's been a no-show. Looking forward to the Wolverine game. Yes, I will be so hyped for the Wolverine game if it's M-rated, if you got the blood, the guts, the violence. We need the Wolverine game to have that like gore and guts that The Last of Us Part 2 had. Like, that needs to happen. Your local comic guy is on crack or something. You can't touch anything in there for under $25. There's no bargain bin, and there are no back issues or anything. I don't get it. Well, you know what that is? That's the sign, Admiralty, of a dying business. You're telling me that they don't have any back issues, no old comics to sell, that they get complete total revenue from, and they're concerned with someone stealing something that's more than $25. That's a dead business. It's going to die. If that's what you're telling me. If you're in the business of comic books, you're broke. Unless you're indie and you get good support, you're fucking broke. Shit, what you call it? Young Ripper 59 literally just went on a rant about that shit. Like, just because you're an artist, people think that you should be broke for your art. And that's not how it works, especially when you're trying to support a company. $25 is their cheapest comic. Oh my God. They won't be in business for much longer if that's the case. It needs dismemberment. Facts. It does need dismemberment. We need, imagine Wolverine. Yo, Meat Pie, what's good with you, bro? Imagine a Wolverine game with Chivalry 2, like blood and guts and beheadings. Bro, I'm just thinking of like Wolverine just swinging his claws and just seeing the heads pop off. Yo, Butch, what's up, bro? What up, homie? We honestly, look, man, I love Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong. Spider-Man is one of my all-time favorite comic book, superheroes. But X-Men, you speaketh X-Men to me. I don't give a fuck about anything else. I don't care. And to be fair, I wish that X-Men got more time than Wolverine does. I mean, everyone loves Wolverine. I get it. I do love Wolverine as well, but I feel as though the X-Men kind of get tossed to the side for Wolverine, and that's not very warranted. That, I think, is antithetical to X-Men entirely. After these games, I'd love to make a Punisher game next, bro. The PS2 Punisher game, emulate that shit. If y'all haven't played it, emulate it. Punisher on the PS2. That game is sick. That game, I had to be like 11 years old. I was like in the 7th grade when I played it. I had to hide that game from my parents. I bought that game when I was hanging out with my best friend at the time. I bought that game. My parents didn't know that I bought it. And I would like secretly play that game. And like the context, like Punisher's a bad fucking guy, man. Like the shit that you're doing as Punisher is I don't think that's gonna fly in modern day. Let's just put it that way. If you're expecting a Punisher game that's anything like that, you're getting your hopes up. Yo, PDB, what's good with you, bro? People get hyped for the new crappy games when they haven't even played some of the best PS2 games. Hey, that's true. We got a lot of young heads out here, bro. They don't know what it is to play on a PS2. Some people started gaming PS3, 360 era. That's insane to me, dog. But then again, I also didn't really experience the 2D era. I started playing games with the PS1. Now, my experience with 2D is GBA, and GBA is one of my all-time favorite platforms. So that's how I got a wholehearted 2D experience through Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color as well. But I wasn't old enough to play video games during, like, you know, that 2D era. I was born in 93, so it's like now I'm looking at these young heads that only started playing games like PS3, 360, some PS4 era. And it's like, you know, it's crazy to think that that's the case, but it is. You love the PS2? Hell yeah. Hell to the fuck yeah. You started with Sega Genesis? Nice. Yeah, Sega Genesis was just out of reach for me, pretty much. After Wolverine, Punisher should be the next character. Honestly, I think that a new Punisher game would be devoid of where it needs to go. It will not go there. So I know you guys want a Punisher game. I'm just telling you, it'll just, if it does happen, it will just be Punisher in name alone. You maybe get a little bit of that feel of Punisher, but with the PS2 game going that far, nah, I don't think so. Also born in 93, got Sega Genesis from my older cousin. See, now I actually got a hand-me-down, but it was the SNES. So that I was playing that alongside my PS2, and yo, the SNES was holding my attention, bro. It was holding my attention. I was playing Mario. I even played some old school NHL games. It was solid, man. Solid experience. They could do Punisher Max comic book with a new game. He was born in 99. My brother was born in 99. It will be watered down. That'll give you some semblances of Punisher, but you won't see Punisher at his like peak brutal. I don't think so. Have you read Punisher Max? No, I have not. Punisher, what about Manhunt? See, Manhunt won't come back. If they're too scared to bring Manhunt back, what makes you think they're gonna do Punisher right? But yeah, I mean, look, I think that Spider-Man 2 is coming out this year. I hope so, for Sony's sake. Because if not, there's nothing redeeming about the PS5 this year. So it looks like they're gearing up to drop Spider-Man 2, and I hope that's the case. Because I really want to play it. So yeah, like I said, if you're going to pick up this comic book, go buy some go buy some used comics too. Go buy some X-Men shit, some old school X-Men shit. Go buy some Chris Claremont X-Men shit, all right, guys? That's all I gotta say about that. Favorite consoles are N64, PS1, OG Xbox, PS2, Xbox 360. Now I'm just a PC gamer. Yeah, I had N64, I had PS1, I had Dreamcast. I had my Dreamcast for a month, tears, but I did have a Dreamcast. I had OG Xbox. I mean, I always wanted every console because all the consoles had exclusives that I wanted to play. That's really what it boiled down to, you know? So I've never been the type to be exclusive to one company. Every generation, a company had the opportunity to win me over. It's just what they had. What did you have to offer? But yo, we have to get into this because Reggie Fils-Aimé just totally kind of owned this person that's playing Zelda early and had the balls to tweet it out. It's like, are you stupid? Do you want the Nintendo Mafia to show up to your doorstep? Like, y'all, this motherfucker playing with fire. But they tweeted that, and Reggie Fils-Aimé literally tweeted Taken, said, I don't know what you want. What I do have, I don't know what you want. What I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. Like, that's literally how Nintendo approaches these types of motherfuckers. Yo, if if I had Tears of the Kingdom early, like a copy of it, I would be hiding under my bed until the release. That's how crazy Nintendo Mafia is. Base strategy. Like, honestly, this is really, really stupid. And you know what? People are emulating the game now. Yo, you do you. Just be careful. Don't tweet that shit out. If you got an early copy of the game, don't tweet that shit out. Are you stupid? Be offline and enjoy your game. There's no hate here. You do you. If you lucky enough to have a early copy of Tears of the Kingdom, if you emulating it on your Steam Deck, look, I ain't hating on you. Just hide for dear fucking life. That's all I'm saying. Why are you so bold for this clout? Why do you want this clout and the CIA at your doorstep? That shit was crazy. But we gotta talk about Kotaku at this point, yo. Talk about bold, man. Kotaku, they are fucking dickheads. And shout out to Bounding in the Comics, but Kotaku journalist Luke Plunkett insinuates a desire for anti-Japanese violence in response to Nintendo denying the outlet a review copy of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I covered this in one of my videos earlier this week, and basically, man, Nintendo said, you're leaking our fucking shit out before we even announce it. To hell with you, Kotaku. Y'all are blacklisted. Y'all are fucking yeeted. And they were leaking petty shit. Like Splatoon 3 DLC. I can see if you leaking like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom shit. But like they leaking little bullshit that only a very select few in the community care about. It wasn't like you were gonna get like 1 billion clicks for a Splatoon 3 DLC leak. You all fucking stupid? Absolute garbage. Kotaku, look, man, I believe that journalism is there to keep these companies honest. That is the purpose of it. That they're supposed to keep each other honest. Now, what Kotaku is doing here by leaking, stuff that Nintendo has planned, it doesn't keep a company honest. That is blatant malicious intent. That exactly, PDB. It's not journalism. Kotaku isn't journalism. So, like, I actually do tend to appreciate when these websites go against companies, but not in this way. This is a stupid way to be. This doesn't benefit anybody by what they're doing. It just benefits, their clicks. That's all it is. But Kotaku's journalists are mental. They are fucking nuts. But it's preview day for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, a huge game. I would love for Kotaku to be able to inform its millions of readers. What millions of readers? There are no millions of readers for Kotaku. None. You get like a handful of that shit if you're lucky. And that's on a good day when you have some rage bait. That's the only time Kotaku gets anything. That's the only time Kotaku eating nowadays is when they rage bait the gaming community. They always have some dumb shit today. Exactly what million readers? Fuck out of here. You see, unfortunately, Nintendo still has it blacklisted from advanced coverage, a move I would argue is both unprofessional and coercive. There are plenty of other journalistic websites, whether you deem them actual journalism or not. There are plenty of other options that are not Kotaku that are going to have all this coverage of the game. For some reason, my internet just had to shit the bed for a sec. My bad for the internet shit the bed for a sec, but let me get a water. It's coercive to not give me an early copy. Yeah. Kotaku, you could wait like every fucking buddy else except a select few. Yeah, I know, it's just laughable. Our millions of readers. Nah, it's me. It's me. I'm sorry about that, guys. Can't control it. I'm hardwired. I live in the middle of nowhere, so the fact that I have at least reasonably good internet says a lot. But yeah, that was laughable. But like, you know, Bounding brings up a point that Kotaku has always been like absolutely stupid when it comes to Nintendo. I don't know what it is. They have something specifically against Nintendo, but you know, they tweeted this out with the Smash Bros. Ultimate Persona 5 DLC includes a disability slur. And it's just like that wasn't the case. That was complete total bullshit. I mean, they've literally like put out articles on how to emulate Nintendo Switch games. Now, if this is like retro games, that's one thing, but we're talking about Switch games. They're literally putting out shit like that. But yo, Spencer from Bounding mad petty. Shout out to Spencer, man. Cause this was from the MagFest 2023. And they say Kotaku's journalistic integrity 404 can't find it. Yo, that's a classic. It's too bad that they took it down and apologized. They simply apologized for telling the truth. There's no journalistic integrity there. But yeah, Luke Plunkett here. This is where it gets really weird because this dude is kind of a deranged retard. It's sad to have to say it, but it is what it is. He's a deranged retard. Damn, people were going at him. But homie says, I am years past caring what these people say. I am simply aghast at the fanatical fervor for which is thrown in 2020. Like, literally, bro, this dude is shocked by shit that's going on. But look what he tweeted. Look what he tweeted. He said, for the record, this is how I feel about publisher blacklists. And it's like I don't know what he's trying to do with this, because it's like you're comparing it to Nazi Germany or like the Nazis, but you also have like kill markers for Japanese on the plane. So that's insane to me. This is literally insane. Like, honestly, it's one of those things where I do at times see this hatred for Japan. And it's like, look, you know, every country has its criticism, don't get me wrong, but we're talking about entertainment. And Japan is responsible for some of the best entertainment that is here today. Nizuik says, I'm surprised that Nintendo didn't go out of its way to shut down Kotaku for all the crap they put. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either. I mean, I'm surprised as well, technically speaking. I'm surprised that they haven't really kind of got on their ass more. Because they definitely go after... I guess they don't want to deal with long-standing battles. Unfortunately, Nintendo's the type of company that goes for the small person. Because they don't really have a means of fighting back a mega corporation. You want to play like that? But this comes off very anti-Japanese, as though Luke himself would like to cause harm to Japan or Nintendo, specifically because they're Japanese, just because Kotaku got blacklisted. This is kind of the deranged weirdos that we're dealing with, guys. And here, this is a staff writer for Kotaku. So Luke was like a lead writer, I believe, or something. Like he was a lead writer of some sort for Kotaku. And this is another individual that works for Kotaku trying to justify what Luke tweeted. They said the rising sun flag is currently a fascist symbol, not a shorthand for people of Japanese ancestry. Adjust your hate comments accordingly. Source, I'm Chinese, trust me. These people are fucking retarded. Mock and shame this shit, yo. Mock and shame. These people should be ashamed of themselves. And they're so bold as to be like, yo, I should do this more. And Gene Park, yo, shout out to Gene Park, man. Homie crushed cancer and is literally asking the tough questions here. Says, so equating everyday Japanese business folks to imperialists colonizing Japan is okay? Apparently, according to, this motherfucker. But they should definitely apologize. And I wouldn't be surprised if more Japanese companies say to hell with Kotaku. They should at this point. You shouldn't really. The thing is, they just want to make everyone that doesn't agree with them seem like they're evil. And that's not how it is. And there's plenty to criticize Nintendo for. There's no shortage of it. But this ain't it. This ain't it. Nobody thinks Kotaku's the good guys here. And if they do, well, they're deranged loony bins as well. And then after getting blacklisted by Nintendo, Kotaku makes this article. Everything we learned about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom from the leaks. So they're so bold as to continue their BS. And obviously I'm not going to click on it because fuck this company. I want them to die. Oof, we got to get into Redfall next, y'all. You got a sneak peek. You got a sneak peek, bro. The Rising Sun flag is an antique from 90 years ago. It's no BFD. Spoilers! Make memes about them until they cry, then make memes about them crying. It's attack. Who's worse, Kotaku or Polygon? I feel like Polygon has kind of like faded away from the limelight. Like they had their little moments, but Kotaku, I don't know what it is about Kotaku where they still kind of stick around, even though Jason Schreier fucked off. I'd say Kotaku has more significance, at least gets more attention than Polygon does nowadays. So I guess under that, I'd have to go with Kotaku. They do act like spoiled brats, Kotaku the Great, because these people are so entitled. They're a bunch of fucking entitled losers. But yeah, I just wanted to get into that because these people are absolutely ridiculous. But we have to get into Redfall, guys, because there is a lot of fallout from Redfall. They think special early access makes them special or better. Yeah. Yeah, Red Fallout. No, nobody takes Kotaku seriously. They are literally the only people that take Kotaku seriously is themselves as, a games journalist company, but nobody really takes Kotaku seriously anymore. If anything, even like some people that are very neutral in gaming, like bash the shit out of Kotaku because they know that Kotaku's garbage. I mean, like my homie Rezi, he's not really a politically active person by any way, shape, or form. Dude just lives his life. He's a gamer. Even he shits on Kotaku, so it's not even like a political thing by any means. It's really just they are trash at what they do, and nobody takes them seriously. If anything, every article that they post is a potential opportunity to roast the shit out of them for being as garbage as they choose to be. Redfall, more like downfall. You ain't kidding. But we have to get into some garbage takes with Redfall because there's plenty of them. There's plenty of them because people are defending this piece of shit. They're defending it. And it's like, look, there's some people that like it out there and they say, hey, I like the game. That's fine. I'm not saying like that's a subjective thing. But if you're trying to say that Redfall is a good game, shut the fuck up. It's one thing to say that you like the game. There's plenty of bad games that I honestly like. But to say that Redfall is a good game, you're full of it. Genuinely, you're full of it. Thinking about that one BuzzFeed journal who got fired, went to work at the Financial Times and literally got fired on his first day for live tweeting a meeting. Yo, how entitled are these people though? And then they'll blame everyone else but themselves. That's the killer thing about it. They blame everyone else but themselves. Yeah, Otaku. Otaku's right. Nobody takes them seriously. They never read past the header. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you learn nothing from reading a Kotaku article. And the last thing you want to do is give them, you know, their any money for clicking on their article. So kind of just avoid it. I see people tweet their way out of a job weekly. You're not kidding, dog. But yeah, Redfall is just bad. It's bad. But we have bad takes before and after the release of Redfall, guys. This dude right here, Mr. Badbit, says, I'm rooting for Redfall. Mind you, this was the day before release. Said, I'm rooting for Redfall. It sucks seeing folks share out of context pictures and videos to fuel console war BS. Even if the game is poorly received, we gotta stop hanging on to aggregate scores as a sign of a good game. People spent years on these projects for your entertainment. Now, if the game was good, I guarantee you this motherfucker, if the game got a 90 on Meta, he would be holding that shit up like it was a cheer, bro. That's how these people are. That's how these people are. I don't value Metacritic, but these people do. But depending on whether the Metacritic score is good or not is when they choose to support Metacritic. That's how it is. If it's a bad Metacritic score, they're like, oh, yo, you stop holding to these numbers, these trivial numbers on this website. But if it's good, they out here touting that shit. Touting it. But look, people have spent years making Redfall. It doesn't show it. But that doesn't excuse the reality that this is a piece of entertainment for purchase, and the entertainment is broken. That deserves criticism. That deserves all of the criticism. How dare Microsoft release a game that does not fucking play well at all on any level? Everything about it is just horrible. It's not a good game. They should be ashamed of themselves for thinking that they can risk. They do not value your money as a consumer. When they release something like this, they do not value you as a customer. They don't care. They just want you to blindly consume their trash. And while I understand that it's not Arcane's decision on when to release Redfall, but nonetheless, it is a terribly constructed game. It is an incomplete game for $70. $70. If this was a $30 game, people wouldn't be as, crazy as they are. It's the same thing with Forspoken. If Forspoken was a $30 game, people wouldn't be on its ass the way it was. Yo, Lemonade, what's good, homie? Good to see you, bro. That take age like chunky milk. Or it's about vampires. I get the name now. Yeah. Also, I will begin an insane Twitter screed of 3:30 a.m. just because I'm from Queens. No. Oh, man. How is Queens doing these days, man? There's some things I miss about Queens, like having corner stores, just more accessibility. I kind of live in the middle of nowhere now, so I used to live pretty close to Flushing. It was like on the outskirts of Flushing. Expensive? Oh man. It was expensive when I lived there 7 years ago. Can't imagine it now. Arcane is kind of ass in my opinion. I mean, I wouldn't say that they were ass. I just think that they're like high, I would say like high tier AA. I think that's a fair assessment for them. Do I think that people were touting them a little higher than they probably are? Personally, I think so. I can't say that they're ass. I just don't think that they were as deserving of the high praise that they got. They definitely had their flaws. You know, they made decent AA games. I think that's a fair assessment, right? Hold on one sec, guys. Give me one sec. I gotta get Ziggy, guys. I see Rule posting a little Ziggy emote. He's afraid of the doggos, so kind of just I don't want him to go through the anxiety of feeling like he's fighting for his life just because the dogs are basically play fighting with each other. Deathloop got mega hyped up to me, and then I picked it up on sale. At first I was kind of interested in Deathloop, but the more they showed it, the more uninterested I got. I don't know, man. It's one of those games. I think it's a 60s game. It felt like it wanted to be like a 70s game, but it just didn't feel. I'm waiting for a game that takes place in the 70s that's actually all in on it. Like, actually be like truly dedicated to being a 70s game, not like a 70s general aesthetic and then have shit be kind of weird. Like, no, give me real 70s aesthetic, like wholeheartedly. But I believe like Deathloop is supposed to have like a 60s aesthetic. But it was kind of weird. It kind of felt 70s to me. It kind of felt to me that they didn't even know what the fuck it was. Wee Ziegler always ruining the stream. Oh my gosh. He was actually sleeping on his cat condo, and I was looking for him. Like, where is he? He's so quiet all the time. Unless it's dinner time, he's very quiet. They didn't owe you anything to begin with. You should be grateful we got any game at all. Is the worst counter I've seen. Yeah, pretty much. And then we got, oh my god, Boomstick. And here we got shout out to Atreus, keeping it 100. Said a bad game is a bad game. Facts. Man, cut the bullshit. Stop capping. Stop it. Just stop it, man. Garbage tape, bro. Then we got this dude right here. And mind you, he clipped oh no, it's Alex. When is Stellar Blade coming out? We don't know yet. I think we might, yeah, there's probably gonna be a PlayStation event soon where they're gonna give us an update on that game. I'm gonna get Stellar Blade. I'm pretty hyped for that. People who bought the game would be blamed if this were a Disney movie. They were they just were too bigoted for the game to work right. I mean, that's essentially what's kind of happening, Admiral. People who bought the game on Steam are being accused of review bombing the game when they paid the $70, and on Steam you have to actually have purchased the game to review it. That, or if you're given a review copy, you have to distinguish that, oh, you were given the game for free by the company, and you know, you have to check the little box that voices that. Cassie, would you say that Redfall is the worst game of the year? It's up there. There's a lot of stinkers this year, guys. Not for nothing. I will say that there's a lot of stinkers this year that run terribly, but if they're fixed up, like Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Star Wars Jedi Survivor's fixed up. It's looking like it's a pretty decent game. Whereas there's nothing particularly redeeming about Redfall. Just everything about it. It could run perfectly. You could have locked 60 on console and locked 120 on PC. The game still is just terrible. And professional critics review bomb things too. Yeah, it's facts. And mind you, this is Guap. I guess his name is Guapzilla. This dude has a lot of garbage takes. He's a super pony, guys. And for you guys who aren't really involved in gaming Twitter, ponies are PlayStation fanboys. But like, he's basically like cheering on the fact that the PC port of Redfall is trash. And he capped oh no, it's Alex's PC port report of the game.
It's got to be a top 3 contender for worst PC port I have honestly seen. And I've seen some things, ladies and gentlemen. We have gone through The Last of Us. We've gone through Wo Long. We've gone through Jedi Survivor. We've done all these things. And yet we continue to see these same issues occur. We are sitting...
And yo, oh no, it's Alex, dude. Despite him getting like review codes and stuff, like he gives thorough reports on the performance of the game on both PC itself as well as Steam Deck, especially if it's Steam Deck verified. Like the dude doesn't like cap for these companies just because he got a free copy. He thanks them for the free copy, but he shows you the fucking numbers and what's going on. And if the shit is ass, he says the shit is ass. He doesn't care. So like Guapzilla is like Redfall X PC massive waste match made in heaven. He is happy and cheering the fact that games come out broken. This fucking idiot. You're a clown. This shit is so garbage. Like this is not gamer speak, okay? I'm sorry, this is not gamer speak. Me, as a gamer, especially, you know, if it comes to games that I do appreciate, I don't want other gamers on different platforms to get a garbage version of a game that I love. Or to pay $70 for a garbage game. Admiral Teague, thank you so much for being a 1-month member to the Cult of Cage, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. But like, this is just terrible. Terrible thought process to have. It is a cancer. This thought process of I'm going to celebrate the fact that my fellow gamers that don't choose whichever platform that I co-sign, they get a garbage game. That's what he's cheering. This is the fucking dog shit that this clown bitch, and as well as a lot of people in the community, they support. Trash. There's been at least one game on Steam early access that didn't even have an executable in the download. Oh yeah, Michael. Well, straight up, Alex's port reviews are very helpful. You definitely get a general idea of how the game's gonna run. And in the current climate where games come out broken as fuck, like that's the norm now, especially for AAA gaming, is very helpful. Yo, oh no, that dude was crazy. He was wilding. I was just listening for a while. I'm like, I wanted to make sure that this wasn't like intended or like a joke, like something that you're in on it. So I was listening for a while. I'm like, Nah, this isn't like planned or anything. This dude's really being a dick on your street. Yo, shout out to Emerald Teague, man. You're absolutely professional. Absolutely. And it's like people that are in fandoms a lot, you have to understand that a lot of people in these fandoms, they're a bunch of dorks. I'm not gonna say, I'm included in it. I'm a fucking dork. I've been obsessed with Dragon Ball since I was 5. And I still love it. I still have, there's a bunch of Dragon Ball freaking toys. Look at this shit. I'm 29 years old. It's shameful, I know. It's fucking dorky. It's fucking dorky. And guess what? Guys, I've been obsessed with some things for so long that I genuinely forget more than I remember about this stuff. Man, Admiral T, you didn't have to, bro. Thank you for the $2, bro. But yeah, Admiral, you handled that a lot better than I would have. Cause man, I get ignorant. I get real fucking ignorant. That's the only way to describe it. When you've been interested in something for so long, bro, like you just forget shit. Like I went out of my way to learn so much things about shit that I love that I forget more than I remember. But at one point I did know. It happens. Yeah, fandom gatekeeping is a thing for sure. People like to create a tier system. They want to act like they're so righteous and shit, but people want to find a niche and then put themselves at the top over other people deliberately, punching down on other people. Like, oh, I'm gonna pretend I know every fucking thing, and then if you don't know, if you don't know this one little specific little niche, trivia thing, then you ain't shit. You're lesser than me. And it's like, bro, you need to stop. How do you feel about people's counter argument of what about video games that got bad reviews or scores but turned out to be good games like Alien Isolation? Yo, man, Zeno, thank you so much. I appreciate you, bro. Totally didn't have to. He called me a dork with the wiki face. Thank you, sir. Much love to you, bro. So, like, Alien Isolation was actually, it was a good game. I don't understand why that shit got, honestly, I know why that game got hit. Because it's difficult. Because the AI would fuck you up. Okay, the AI is one of those things where reviewers couldn't cheese the AI and they were so butthurt about it. Yes, they couldn't cheese the AI, so they shat on that game because of that shit, Delta. It's facts. The AI was smart. The AI that shit was horrifying. That game is horrifying. If you want a good scare, check out Alien Isolation. That game is genuinely scary. The alien in that game don't fuck around. Straight up. But, I mean, look, I think there needs to be a way to reassess games after they've been given a poor review due to how poorly they run. But, honestly, here's the thing that fixes all this. Don't release the game until it runs right. It's really that simple. It's that simple. But the companies themselves put themselves in this situation. So I don't feel sorry for them. If you get if your game gets a poor review because the game does not run well, that's on you. So just don't release it. Review these games and purposely make whether the game runs well or not the most important part of the score. Because that way, it would disincentivize these companies, these publishers and developers from releasing broken games. Performance and whether the game is buggy or not should be the most important part of a review. And sometimes it's completely omitted from a review. What the fuck is the point of calling a game good when the game don't even run? It's an interactive medium. And you're telling me my interaction with the medium is fucked up. But you're not going to include that in your review. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is ridiculous. This isn't film where you just watch it. You're interacting with the game. And your interaction is hindered by the fact that the game runs so fucking poorly. ridiculous, man. How is this not the most important part of video games? The performance. It just boggles my mind. The AI, from what I've played, is not broken. It was just very difficult. You can't cheese the AI in Alien Isolation. I know that there was what is it? Aliens, not was it Colonial Marines? That game came out. Whew. That game lives in infamy. There are more ways to scare people other than, you know, jump scares. That's like the laziest way to get people scared. Yeah. I mean, I won't say it's the laziest. I think jump scares are good. They kind of set the tone. So I don't think that's a bad thing, you know, but it shouldn't, it's one of those things where it definitely shouldn't be the only part of a horror game. Best game equals best graphics. God, I hate that mindset. Yeah, same. Same. I'll take garbage graphics for great performance any day of the week. That's why I love PC, because I get more of a say in how I want my game to play. Redfall doesn't look like a current gen game. No, it looks like and honestly, it's disrespectful to 360 and PS3 because games look better back then. But yeah, guys, this is a garbage take from this fucking clown on Twitter. Then we have, oh boy, this fucking guy, Crap Gamer. Yes, he is crap. That's for certain. Jump scares need to be earned. Unearned jump scares are cheap and lazy. That's facts. That's a good point. Jump scares are just peekaboo. Yo, Jinpachi, what's good with you? Fear works great when the enemies are in absolute Yo, I'm the most horrified when that's the case. I'm scared. Jump scares don't really bother me. Jump scares don't bother me. Music fucking gets to me. If you have really like chilling music in a game, I'm petrified. I'm petrified off the bat. If you have that tone, that music that hits that tone perfectly, that and enemy that I have to run away from because I can't take them on. Those things are absolutely horrible. Yo, what is he? Is it Mr. X in Resident Evil 2? That dude, just him stomping around killed me. It killed any form of being brave. Any form of bravery I had died when Mr. X started stomping. That was a wrap. Complete total wrap. Redfall looks like wet clay. Bro, it's crazy. I was saying that, like, literally in the beginning of the game, you're, like, surrounded by this floating body of water. I don't understand why it's a floating body of water, by the way. No one explained that to me. But it literally looked like backwash out of someone's mouth. It was disgusting looking. It was gross. Ugh. What an ugly game. The AI is garbage. The AI is so stupid. They're just almost as though they're not even there. They might as well just be standing. Redfall gameplay looks like a mobile game cutscene. That's why Jack and Resident Evil 7 was great. A good example of jump scares done well is the 1982 film John Carpenter's The Thing. The infamous blood test scene, if you know what I'm talking. Yes. That as well as The Fog. I think The Fog has some amazing jump scares. The one scene on the boat with Jamie Lee Curtis, that one gets me every time. It makes my heart stop for a quick second because they hit you with an initial jump scare that was very minor, and you think, oh, that was the jump scare. No. Let's just leave it at that. That was just to get you thinking it was a tease to the real jump scare. Yo, PDB, thank you so much for coming through, fam. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Take care of yourself, bro. But we got this special kind of clown, the crap gamer, a crap gamer. He says people don't think there's a media bias against Xbox. No matter what they do, it'll never be good enough for some people. How is Redfall good enough for anybody that has any form of self-respect? How is it good enough? How? If you have self-respect, how is Redfall good enough? It is horrendous in every sense of gaming. From a performance perspective, from a graphics perspective, from a gameplay perspective, from an AI perspective. Every important facet of gaming, Redfall is horrendous in. How is there media bias here? They shat on Forspoken too, because Forspoken was a piece of shit. Just like Redfall. He had a complete meltdown when Redfall released. Crap Gamer's a fucking idiot, not for nothing. Does anyone think Tremor will be in Mortal Kombat 12? I don't know. There's no real details in Mortal Kombat 12 other than it's supposedly coming out this year. We're probably going to get an announcement trailer soon. And that shit better be good because I'll be tearing that one a new ass. I'm very, very upset with Mortal Kombat 11. There is no media bias. Microsoft Xbox division has been in the shitter for years. There's no media bias. It's just bad. They have their good moments. This year, I gave them props for Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush was well received. How is there media bias? And look, man, I don't like to give journos the benefit of the doubt. But you can't sit here after saying Hi-Fi Rush is a good game and say Redfall should get the same love. Because that fucking game is shit. Jinpachi said, I personally don't have a console bias, but Microsoft is using gaming as an additional asset, nothing but... Yeah, the reality is Microsoft with Xbox, you know, the gaming division, it isn't what they're concentrating on the most. It's not. And Phil Spencer admits that today. Then we got this dude. I don't even know who the fuck this is, but his take was so dumb. He says, sorry, but people calling for Phil Spencer's resignation are way out of their depth. Xbox is having record quarters repeatedly under his leadership. Is everything perfect? Obviously no. But please get some perspective. So just because Microsoft manages to make money while everyone is disappointed with the gaming experience on Xbox, that means it's okay. All this motherfucker proves to me is that all he cares about is if Microsoft makes money, not if the experience is good, not if gamers are enjoying this platform. None of that matters. I don't give a fuck how much money Microsoft makes. Ideally, if they do good, I want them to prosper because I want them to continue doing good. That's a basic sentiment, but I don't really care about the type of money Microsoft is making. Is the experience good? Is being a gamer on this platform good? Are the games good? That's what I care about. And for the most part, they're very inconsistent. Or they don't show up at all. Because last year they didn't show up at all. You're a Kano main. They destroyed the combo system and watered down from MKX big time. Yeah, MKX had a decent combo system. It's too bad that they made all their characters look old and uninteresting. MKX was the last good Mortal Kombat game. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, it was pretty solid. Jez Corden of Windows Central. Well, thank you for letting me know who the fuck he is. He's definitely a clown. I guess I pick him good, because I didn't even know he was affiliated with Windows Central, but... MVG says, I'd argue Phil has saved Xbox. Phil has dragged Xbox. Because, look, let's be real now. Xbox was in a bad place at the beginning of last gen, no doubt. But it wasn't like he lifted them on Xbox onto his shoulders and saved them. No, he has dragged Xbox out of the abyss. Starfield is their last chance, I say, but considering this is Bethesda release, I don't know. But here we have the take of takes, because this one's personal. This one's personal because I put out a video. Basically, I said that Redfall is not being review bombed. It is simply just trash. And a person on Twitter replied to me saying that no, it is indeed getting review bombed. He said it's indeed getting review bombed and that I was wrong. And he replied with his video explaining how, how that it is getting review bombed and review bombing needs to stop in 2023. So initially my first impression was, oh, so he's a corpo cocksucker. That's what it comes down to. But let's listen to the video. Let's hear him out. Let's see what he has to say. Let me see.
Originally I wasn't even going to record a video.
Automatically his voice is annoying, by the way. So you guys have to suffer with me. Let's suffer together. Yes.
About Redfall, because after they made the 30 frames, 60 frames announcement, I was like, well, the game's clearly not finished, so I'm gonna wait until they finish it before I play it. The concept.
Okay, so automatically he knows the game is fucked. It didn't take much to tell that the game was probably gonna be fucked.
The game is really interesting to me, and it looked cool. But again, if you were telling me that we're going to have 60 frames coming later, usually with the 60 frames patch, there's a whole host of other patches as well that comes along. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just play other games, and when the final version is released, then I'll jump in and check it out. But beside from that, I was looking.
So he's saying that he himself will not pass judgment on this game, even though the game is officially released. It's not early access, it's not like released to some people in a beta. No, this is the official release. And he's saying, despite it being the official release, he's not going to pass judgment on the game.
Looking at all this nonsense going on Metacritic, and this is just truly bizarre, and I feel like I need to make a quick video about this because, yeah. Okay, so sitting here.
So he values Metacritic. These fucking people, man.
Here at the Metacritic, we see it, the critics gave the game 63 on Xbox. On PC, it's sitting at a 59. On Xbox, there is no user score that I can see. On PC, the user score is a 2.1. Now, this is what I want to talk about. At some point, we as gamers or as a consumer base or what have you, need to stop with this nonsense of review bombing. It's completely idiotic.
Yo, Jim Pachi said this guy sounds like a middle-aged woman. He sounds like a middle-aged woman that smokes. I have a deeper voice than him, god damn it.
So looking here at the scores, we see 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. These are in Spanish, I can't read them, but this one says, another embarrassing tease to users. We need to start calling these people what they are, scammers. This garbage put an end in my relationship with Xbox. Microsoft isn't serious and doesn't respect consumers. The thing is there's no way, shape, or form this game is a 0. Okay?
How can you say that? To people who paid $70 for this game, if they pay the $70 and the game is completely trash, and the thing is, you can't tell who paid and who didn't. But someone that paid $70 for this game and is playing it and is like, oh, there is no single redeeming quality about this game. I just paid $70 for an irredeemably terrible game. They're not entitled to give it a 0 out of 10. That's not allowed? Even though Metacritic allows that number to be chosen? He about to bake you some cookies? Yeah, I wouldn't eat his cookies.
A 0 is a game that simply won't boot. A 0 is a game where you purchase a game, and when you go to start it, it doesn't get past the splash screen.
I would argue Redfall would be a better game. As someone who's played it for 2 hours, Redfall would be a better game if it did not boot. I would argue that, because at least it wouldn't have wasted my time. If the game did not boot at all, it would, no doubt, in my mind, be a far better game than what it turned out to be.
You can't even get to the options screen. The game equivocally does not open. That's a 0. Anything more than that, it can't be a 0. And then we got these other guys giving it a 10, like this guy. This game is not for everyone, especially not for PlayStation fanboys. Stop spamming bad reviews. I played the game and it was great because I love this type of game. There's absolutely no...
I mean, there are people out here that love shit. That's the thing. Just it's people that love dog shit. It happens. So you're going to get those 10 out of 10s too. But clearly this person was enticed to give it a 10 because, well, people were giving it a 0.
No way this is a 10. I'm sorry. There's no way.
Mind you, this person, K. Huntington, whatever the fuck his name is, he didn't even play the game. But he can determine that the game is not a 10 or not a 0. She makes me feel kind of funny. Kotaku says the fact that Xbox is last place in sales everywhere, even Japan. Well, of course they're last place in Japan. They always are. It's pretty telling sign. Guess they still could not come back from the ownage at E3 2013, huh? Well, the problem is Microsoft is trying to do all sorts of other things besides make good games. It sounds like SpongeBob's grandma. Yo. Oh, man, that's a throwback. That's a throwback.
On this planet, the solar system, in this universe, that this is a 10. It's just not possible. So it's really weird. We have geeks on here who are giving 0s, and then we have other geeks on here who are giving 10s. It completely invalidates the entire system and process because there's no way this game is either.
How?
So generally, we just don't even pay attention to the user score because the user score, it makes no sense. There's no validity to it. There's no value in that number.
How?
All I generally look at when I'm, perusing and kind of get a general temperature of how a game is perceived is the Metascore, because these are.
So he says he doesn't hold any validity to the user score when there are some people that have the user score that have participated in the user score, who own the game, who purchased the game, who have Game Pass. So they've invested some money into the game, some of them at least. Whereas all the actual critics themselves, none of them bought the game, but yet he values the critics' fucking opinion more than the user score. Because if the user score, at least some of these motherfuckers bought this piece of shit. Yo, Neo, have a good one, bro. Take care of yourself. I appreciate you for coming through. User score has more value because they're the actual fucking gamers. Exactly. I love Black Lagoon. Black Lagoon's my shit. Revy's like one of my all-time favorite characters.
There are actually people who are reviewing it and that kind of thing. I thought it was interesting. We have a couple of 40s here. Redfall tries to bite far more.
Yo, if these broke-ass fucking journalists from like Kotaku or whatever have you, they live with like 5 other of their journalist friends in a 1-bedroom apartment in New York. If you told them, yeah, you have to pay $70 for Redfall in order to review it, you think they wouldn't give that shit a 0? You really think they wouldn't give that shit a 0? Come on, man. Let's be honest. If these broke ass motherfuckers had to actually pay $70 for Redfall, I guarantee you a lot of these reviews that are already low to begin with would probably end up being a 0. Yo, Revy's flames. Revy's your second place waifu. So, like, my friends introduced me to Black Lagoon because they're like, yo, you're just like Revy. You need to watch Black Lagoon. This is like like 4 or so years ago. So I ended up watching. I'm like, okay, yeah, kind of. Cause like I've always like just said insane shit and don't care. That's always been a thing. And my closest friends know best of all.
More than it can chew, and delivers a package with middling presentation, a lack of interesting mechanics, and some pretty woeful performance. Despite its issues and perhaps like its cultists, I want to love it. It just won't love me back. You can read the full review later on. So that was interesting. We have a couple of 40s
No, it's
here.
not.
Do we have any more negative reviews? I'm going to look at all 30. So 40, 40, 40,
All right,
40.
right.
A 0 out of 10. Like this guy, this looked fantastic at its reveal. Fun co-op. It's not a 0. Again, a 0 is a game that simply will not boot. Knowing how it.
So guys, mind you, so he claims that Metacritic user score holds no value because you can give it a 0 or you can give it a 10. And to him, neither is possible. To him, he says neither is applicable. Look what he does with Steam. Look what he does. Yo, Red Clouds, what's good with you, bro? Good to see you as always. Y'all got the same glasses. What the fuck? That's not true, okay? His are shiny. Mine are matted. And mine have like a little dot and not like a slide thing. And his are like wider. So fuck you. I refuse. The one time I wear glasses on stream, motherfucker, you gotta fuck with me. Man, fuck you, Butch. Report the stream, I dare you. Revy the unhinged psycho waifu. Yes. Same, only the few times I like the dub. Yo, Revy's voice actress in the dub is amazing. Absolutely. Yo, Envy Dub, what's good with you, bro? So he says that Metacritic holds no validity simply because you could give the game a 10 or you could give the game a 0. Look what he does with Steam.
It's going, they'll probably abandon the game before it's finished, because let me pull up Steam real quick. Yeah, looking here at Steam, I see it, there's right now 2,000 people in game. I mean, of course it's 9:30 in the morning. Most gamers are in bed right now, but last night I checked.
Redfall is DOA. It's DOA. That's what it is.
And it was right at about, I think it was right about the same amount last night when I checked at about 10 o'clock. It was, I think, 2,100.
Thank you, Red.
Essentially, 2,100 people on the entire planet paid for this. I guess the rest of them were playing on Game Pass or what have you. But
all these people sadly paid $70 to $90 for this piece of shit. And Phil said they were going to support the game. Now that's painful. Honestly, I think there should be Game Pass only games. A game like Redfall should never ever see the light of day to a storefront in any serious manner. It should have been honestly an early access game on Xbox Game Pass. That's at best, or just not released. So now Microsoft is going to waste its assets by supporting an already dead game. Take it off the store and refund people. Take it off of Game Pass. Just refund people. This is a waste of assets.
But that's a pretty telltale number that the game is equivocally dead. Yeah, if we look at Elden Ring is right now at nearly 31,000 people. And just for kicks and giggles, I know it's going to be like 2 people. No, nobody's playing it right now. Only 2 in group chat.
Looked up Night Trap.
So back to Metacritic. I mean, basically.
Guys. He skipped over the Steam reviews. He skipped over them. His one and only criticism was that you can give a 0 or a 10 on Metacritic. So therefore, the user score on Metacritic is invalidated. On Steam, you can only give a thumbs up and a thumbs down. There's no number You either like it or you don't like it. He didn't even bother to look at the Steam reviews. That essentially eliminates all the main issue he has with quote-unquote review bombing. So he completely skipped over the one fucking review site that would essentially alleviate his issue with user reviews. Just completely skipped over it. And on Steam, you have to own the game in order to review it. The only people that didn't pay for the game is the ones that admit to getting a free copy. You have to check a box saying, I got a free review copy, and that's, you know, that's placed there for people that are interested in the game, that are reading reviews to see, oh, this person didn't pay for the game. What is their, you know, if you value that, then so be it. If not, hey, there's plenty of other people that also reviewed the game that actually paid their hard-earned money for it. So by this, I watched this shit go down, and I said, this dude is a fucking idiot. Redfall's not being review bombed. It is just shit. Couldn't really get into Deathloop. You can even hear the skip. Yeah, like, there's really nothing else to say. The dude, I don't even need to continue. I saw that, and I said, this dude clearly is just a corporate cuck shill. He's a corporate cocksucker. But just to palate cleanse, shout out to Punisher94X. I'm gonna put his name in the chat if anyone wants to look up his YouTube channel. He put out a good video, so shout out to him. Gotta give that a like. And so he put this one out here. Let me see. Should be good.
Can Xbox release an even more trash game than Crackdown 3? Guess again.
No. Look at the top of his head.
I can do this forever.
How did they think that was okay to even put it in the game? I'm so sick of this fucking company. The trash! Fix the game!
Phil Spencer played for 37 minutes and got out of there real quick.
Oh my god. That was simple video. Very simple. Explains a lot about the game. You subscribe to him? Cool. Yeah, it was a very simplistic video. Doesn't waste your time. Shows precisely why this game is likely a 0 out of 10. I couldn't personally find one redeeming quality about the game. The moment I backed out was when they introduced busy work, because the game was insufferable as fuck just on the main campaign. Like, there's no redeeming quality at all about it. Then they introduced the concept of busy work, and I'm just like, well, I'm out. Peace. Deuces. That's literally how I was. Played the game for only 1 hour and deleted it. Yeah, it's not worth pursuing. It's just not worth it. But we do come to the, we do come to the fact that Phil Spencer had to address this. He had to address it. He was scheduled for Kinda Funny beforehand. It's supposed to be a different conversation entirely, but due to the state of Xbox, this became another conversation that he had to address the reality of the situation. And shout out to Kinda Funny Games for hiding Greg Miller's ugly fucking face. That made this at least watchable. You don't have to hear his annoying voice. You don't have to see his fucking ugly face. That meant that I could watch the video and not want to vomit. But it's not a 0 out of 10. Yeah, it's not a 0 out of 10 apparently. $70 for this trash. Yeah, it's bad. It's just insane how that's even warranted or applicable in modern day gaming, that a game that genuinely terrible, that devoid of quality, that uninspired can have a $70 price tag. But look, I'm just gonna skip around. I'm not trying to sit here and listen to this whole bullshit ass conversation. What matters is what does Phil Spencer have to say given this situation? Did I got the wrong fucking video. Oh my god. Ew. I just trolled myself. Ugh, my fucking eyes. All right, here we go.
Reviews for game.
No! Why are you torturing me with this? I don't want to see his face. Disgusting. Where's the actual interview? Did they take the interview down? Hold on. Hold on. I have to go through the receipts. Yeah, just when I thought I escaped Greg Miller, I fucking trolled myself. F in the chat. Let me go through and find the video. You don't like that channel? I don't like this channel either. It's a very fake semblance of validity. Very fake validity. Here we go. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me right back in. All right, found it.
With Phil Spencer, it's going to be a fun time to get
working through regulatory.
I am pleased to hear
accelerant for our strategy, so we're just forming, and that this content could somehow prohibit others from competing in that market. But we'll appeal. We stay on it. The company remains very, very committed. We think Activision Blizzard King is not our strategy, but it is an accelerant for our strategy. So we're still heads down and working through regulatory.
I'm telling you guys right now, the real reason that Microsoft wants Activision Blizzard is not for Call of Duty, though Call of Duty's big money for them, but they're trying to future-proof their company at this point. A lot of people have to come to accept the reality that Xbox, that box itself, the console itself, is an outdated form of their company, of the Xbox brand. They don't want to do Xbox, the console, anymore. They can't win. They cannot win in that space. They already know it. They've accepted that. They're trying to move to places where they can have, they can have they can be the proprietors of. They want to move to PC gaming and mobile gaming. That's what they want to do. That's just the reality of the situation. That's where they realistically can win. I mean, look at Game Pass. They have more subscribers on PC than on the Xbox console. They cater more to... They don't really cater to Xbox if you're an Xbox gamer anymore. They don't really do that. It must suck to be an Xbox-only gamer. If you own a Series X or S, you are not treated very well. I see it. You guys are kind of just... You guys are there and they try to support you, but they're trying to do all these other things at once, and they're not good at it. This is what happens when you have a giant bureaucracy, a giant mega corporation that's dealing with a billion other things. That's why PlayStation, last gen, they got rid of a lot of their other things that they were dealing in. They had a lot of other stuff that they were dealing in, and they got rid of some of that shit. Cause shit, they were, let me see. I mean, they still dive into the mobile market a bit, but their phones don't sell very well. They still have the TVs. They still have, Sony Pictures, but they've definitely pulled back because they were involved in too many spaces. but they saw that the gaming was their big money maker. So they went more, they centralized that around the PlayStation brand. Well, they just want, Xbox wants to just be in places where they can fight for power. PlayStation doesn't really have any grasp on PC. They're clueless. They are clueless. They think that putting their, their bangers on PC, that'll automatically get them in. Yo, DJ the Water Bearer, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate you. But PlayStation really has no hold on PC gaming. They don't really get it. Doo-doo fell out of booty into a game case and they charge people $70 for it. Microsoft owns more of the cloud market. Yeah, that's where they can win. On PC, on mobile, and cloud. All that stuff is what they're trying to do to future-proof their company. The Xbox, the actual console, is an old way of thinking for them. That's just the reality of it.
I am pleased to hear that, of course, as a big fan of many of those games.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start. I'll hit Redfall, but I'll just say all up. There's nothing that's more difficult for me than disappointing the Xbox community. I've been a part of it for a long time. I obviously work on Xbox, head of the business.
It's just insane. They don't have that many games releasing in terms of like Xbox first party. How is it so difficult for them to just simply release a good game that runs well day one? They're concentrating on too many other things. It's not necessarily about the games themselves. And Phil Spencer admits that in this interview.
A lot of friends, get a lot of feedback. And just to kind of watch the community lose confidence, be disappointed. I'm disappointed.
Yo, Hypnotic, what's good with you, bro? Shout out to Hypnotic. Good dude, man. Appreciate him. Appreciate you coming by.
Disappointed. I'm upset with myself. I kind of revisit our process. I think back to the announcement of 60 frames per second, and then we weren't shipping 60 frames per second. That was kind of our punch in the chin, rightfully.
The glory days of Xbox in terms of video games, yes. Like the games themselves, they don't concentrate on making great games anymore. They're going for the power play. That's the whole goal. It's not necessarily the quality, but the power that they have in the industry. That's just what it is. Are we going to see that Indiana Jones game made by the Wolfenstein developer Machine Games? That could be the case. That could be the case.
A couple weeks ago, and then seeing the game come out and the critical response was not what we wanted. And it's disappointing. And so kind of pick myself up. What can we learn? How can we get better? One thing I'll fight is kind of what went wrong. There's clearly quality and execution things that we can do. But one thing I won't do is push against creative aspirations of our teams. Then a lot of people will say, hey, you've got teams know how to do one kind of game. Just force them to go do the one kind of game that they have a proven track record for. And I'm just not a believer in that.
It's hard for me to believe, honestly, that Redfall there was any creative aspirations behind Redfall. I just don't see it. If I see a good game there, like Star Wars Jedi Survivor, there looks like there's a good game there. It does. But the game is just fucked up. That's just what it is. Whereas Redfall, there's just nothing redeeming about it.
Maybe that means I'll under-deliver for some of our fans out there, but when a team like Rare wants to do Sea of Thieves, when a team like Obsidian wants to do Grounded, when Tango wants to go do Hi-Fi, when everybody probably thought they were doing Evil Within 3, I want to give the team.
He's saying basically all of these developers want to do smaller scale games. That's what I'm hearing. Because as an Obsidian fan, I don't want to see Grounded. Why are all of these developers that are capable of doing high scale games? Why are they choosing to do AA games? What is it that's kind of, and it's like I don't know if that's the best way to frame it, but that's what when he says this, that's what I'm getting. Why do they want to do smaller scale games? Is it particularly the management? Is it something there that makes them want to, they don't feel comfortable with a massive Undertale, like a massive game that will take an immense amount of craftsmanship? Why is it that Obsidian wants to do Grounded? Why is it that, you know, all these companies are doing smaller scale games? It's kind of, I don't know. I don't really know the answer.
Teams the creative platform to go and push their ability, push their aspirations. But I also need to have a great selection of games that are continue to come that surprise and delight our fans, and we under-delivered on that, and for that I apologize. It's not what I expect, not what I want, but you know, it's ours to deliver.
They knew the game is messed up. How do you not know that the game is messed up? Phil Spencer played the game for less than 40 minutes and ran away. Oh, man. Consumers are now the alpha tester. Pretty much. That's the sad reality of it. And that's an industry-wide trend. This isn't just Microsoft. You can't blame Microsoft for this. This is an industry-wide trend where we pay to be alpha testers. We pay $70 now to be alpha testers. That's the sad reality of that shit. Sad fucking reality. Guys, 27 people in the chat. Thank y'all for coming through. Hit the like button, man. It really helps me out. I really appreciate y'all for being here. Remnant says Phil Spencer has done so many interviews trying to get people hopeful about the future of Xbox. But at this point, what he says means nothing because there's nothing to look forward to. The shame is, like, the thing is, there's some great things that I'm interested in. I'm interested in Avowed. I'm interested in Outer Worlds 2. But do I have faith that these games will come to fruition, that these games will be good? A lot of people are interested in Indiana Jones. I might be interested in Indiana Jones. Like, there's a lot of things that people do have to look forward to, but they do not trust that these games will come out in good, orderly fashion. It's crazy because these games have been announced many years ago. Avowed got announced like 3 fucking years ago, and we've only had a CG trailer.
So following up on that, Phil, so again, I appreciate the transparency on that, but there is a second component to this. And as you may or may not know, I talk to a lot of people in the Xbox community because I want to understand, you know, what people are excited about, what they're frustrated about, things like that. So kind of sticking on this conversation about Redfall, but it's kind of a bigger general question as well. And I kind of want to read directly from this so I make sure I get it crystal clear. So what goes into the decision to delay a game when you launch it feature incomplete?
Well, I think those are, and I'm happy to go very deep on this. I think if I think about a team's execution on a game, we had a creative vision, and did we realize that vision through the game that we created? That's not a delay question if the answer is no. Like, you can't take something that you started on. This isn't a Redfall specific conversation, right? But we will build games that review in the high 80s, and we will build games that review in the 60s. I mean, it's just kind of part of being in game publishing. And if you're afraid of that, then you shouldn't be in the entertainment business. You shouldn't be in the games business. That said,
so expect mid games. If you're going to make a game that is intentionally not going to be very good, why is it $70? Because that's what I'm getting from this. If you come to realize that a game is not going to be that good, and look, man, there's some games that you know, a game that's like in that 7 out of 10 range can be a fun game. It can be a fun game, but depending on its price point. I'm not saying that every game has to be a 10 out of 10. That's just an unrealistic thought process. But if you're going to have like a game that's super mid and you're charging $70 for it, bro,
that every time we deliver something below our own internal expectations that surprises us, we should check our process. I don't look at
Yes.
the review scores on Redfall, and there are quality issues, and we're working on those. But I think there's a fundamental piece of feedback that we get that the game isn't realizing the creative vision that it had for its players. That doesn't feel like a, hey, just delay it. That feels like the game had a goal to do one thing, and when players are actually playing, they're not feeling that thing. They're not feeling the creative execution of the team. When a game needs to be delayed, what we did with Halo, we did with Starfield, we did with Redfall, because the production timeline is saying we have this vision and our production timelines don't get us to the completion of that vision, we do delay games. We do that. Learning about the quality, there are clearly, I've seen them. I know there are bugs in Redfall that's launching. But when I look at like the crash rates on the game, because we get all the telemetry of everything that's happened, it's not out of proportion for a game that has just launched. It's kind of in the pocket of what we would expect.
Companies nowadays don't release games that intentionally are good day one, like solid. This is what I'm getting. And look, I can't even blame Phil Spencer for this. This is an entire industry trend. We will release a game that's buggy day one. That expect that to be the norm. Like, he's just saying, yo, we expect games to be crashing, and that's gonna be the norm. But this one didn't crash more than what is acceptable to us. What is acceptable in modern day gaming, it is totally different now. Totally different now from when I was a kid. Back PS1, PS2, even like, some of PS3 era. Same with OG Xbox and some of 360 era. It's a different world. That's why I believe a lot of these like developers want to skip over like millennials and go to Gen Z, because they grew up with games being fucked up. That was the norm for them. So a lot of us that remember that, hey, if a game was fucked up on disc, the game was a dud. When we remember that, they want to skip over us entirely. Look at something like Evil West that was in the 70s. Evil West has had some good things about it. I was upset with the game, though. It was one of those games where, at least if it ran pretty well, it would have been a fun middle ground experience.
That's not to deny any of the animation, streaming of texture bugs, the AI bugs that we've seen. We will go work on those.
Why did this game hit release? He acknowledges that they seen all this, but we'll fix it after release. Yo, guys, this shit makes me sick, y'all.
The core creative of the game will tell us what they think.
Can I jump in? Yeah, of course. Please, Gary.
We don't want to put him in the firing line for that.
I
Out
can't.
there right now crowing about the fact that Redfall has underperformed. Just want to point this out as a creative.
Redfall is garbage. Redfall is unacceptable.
On an originalized dump, it doesn't work.
These people are just ball gargling Phil Spencer. I won't say that these dudes were ball gargling Phil Spencer, but you could tell that they were working so hard to properly formulate like their questioning, because they don't want to feel offensive to the Xbox brand or to Phil Spencer. And I get that. I understand that, but they could have at least find better ways that didn't take 15 hours to fucking word. So maybe you could ask him more questions instead of like a super duper long question.
The reaction, that to me suggests that the reaction was something different, or how, like, internally, how much do you know? I feel like, to what extent, given that what we're talking about here is not just 30 frames, but design issues, things that may be more conceptual, to what extent do you think, or are you committed to continuing to work on the game and getting it maybe a year down the road, Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky? We've seen these redemptive stories.
This game, there's nothing redeeming about it. Take it off the store. Take it off the store. To actually say that Arcane is going to waste more of their time and assets to get this game working when we know no one is going to play this fucking game a year from now. What is the point? Refund people.
what extent do you hold out hope that you can still get the game closer to where you wanted it to be at launch? I know that was a lot.
No, well, at first I thought your words about creative ambition of teams, you especially, I mean, you've lived this, you've done this, are very well said. On the score, yeah, we do mock reviews for every game that we launch, and this is like double digits lower than we thought we would be with this game. Went through our mock.
Did they think this game was an 8 out of 10? It scored like a 59 on PC and like a 63 on Metacritic. What is double digits? You thought it was going to score a 70 and 80? What does that mean? Because when you say double digits, I'm instantly just going to add 10. So they thought this game was like a 73. That's what they were aiming for, a 73 game. For $70. They said, apparently now games, Metacritic is determined by their price. If it's a $70 game, they're aiming for a 70. At this point, they might as well make games $100. Maybe they'll start aiming for, a 10 out of 10.
Reviews. And that's what's one of the disappointing things. Like we would never strive to launch a game that we thought was going to review in the low 60s. It's not part of our goals. If you look at our review scores over the last year, it's not a defense at all. If you look at the review scores over the last year, I think the teams have done a better job.
I agree, Astro. I think it did get a generous meta. There's nothing redeeming about it. Nothing.
Job in upping the level of quality of the games that we've shipped. Some of those games first shipped on PlayStation, but still, when I go through the list of the games, you still have to build a game, you still have to ship a game. And this game was significantly below our internal metrics in terms of where it actually reviewed. But that's not on anybody but us. Like, we have to own that. In terms of our commitment to the game, absolutely. The team at Arcane is on taking the near-term feedback. We're still working on the 60 frames per second. We have a good timeline for that. We're committed to getting that done. And we're going to continue to work the game. I think we've shown a commitment to games like Sea of Thieves and like Grounded to continue to go.
I think Sea of Thieves, at least day one, the problem with Sea of Thieves is that it had no content. It wasn't a bad game. There was redeeming things about Sea of Thieves. It was just an empty game. And eventually they filled up the game. But it was a good foundation. Redfall has no good foundation to it.
Go and build games. But I also know that these games are $70, and I'm not gonna I'm gonna take full responsibility for launching a game that needs to be great. I think what I have with the Xbox community, what I am a part of, is a team. There's still questions that pop every so often of how committed is the company to this category. When are we just going to push Xbox out of the market? There's a lot of Twitter firing of Phil.
It's so hard for me to play Obsidian games that aren't open world RPGs because it's like I look to them for role play, open world role play, and stuff like Grounded, Pentiment is just, to me, a waste of their fucking time. I mean, I guess that's me just being like extra. I guess that's an overreach of my personal opinion. And I understand that, and that's fine. If someone wants to say that is an overstep for me, fine. But I just have no interest in Pentiment or fucking Grounded. Get that shit the fuck away from me.
Bill right now, which is fine. I'm way overpaid for the role I have anyway. So like I get that's my responsibility. But we will remain committed to the game and the players as long as the players want to go play games. And that's my commitment to the community.
Nobody wants to play Redfall. There's like maybe 2 motherfuckers that actually do want to play Redfall after knowing what Redfall is. Maybe 2. Take the game off the store. That's what I say. Just take it off the store, refund people, and make that shit a tax write-off.
I'm kind of at a low point right now in terms of my delivery on that commitment to the community. But it very much stays. I want to support the team. I want to support the creative ambitions of the teams. And I want to support the players. And
there was no ambition with Redfall. I'm sorry.
With the launch of the game,
I have a hard time believing that.
We will continue to strive on. You have to, right? That's what creative is about.
No, you absolutely do. And to kind of start transitioning this into hopefully more happy news, but I do want to address some.
I think that this is the best thing about this interview, really.
Something, around that. Obviously, today you announced the Xbox Game Showcase, which will be happening this.
Yeah, shit was so ass for Xbox. Right after Redfall's launch, they had to announce the event for Xbox for more games. Nobody enjoyed Redfall, so let's just announce that there's more games that are all potentially also going to be problematic. But I'm glad that they at least announced the showcase. I'm interested. This is actually where this interview does get interesting for me personally.
June, and obviously there's going to be a lot of new reveals and surprises that come out of that, which is great. But I am going to bring it back again to another common theme that I do hear through the community, and I've actually said this to you in the past, but it's about communication coming from Xbox. I do feel back in 2021, you did a fantastic job with communication, which arguably has been the best year during this current generation of Xbox. Obviously, we know that.
Mind you, the best year of Xbox was 2021. And guess why? Why? Because they released Forza Horizon, what is it, 5? And Broken Halo. That's what made that year the best year. That's the only things that really mattered at that point. That's what convinced me to buy an Xbox, because I thought things were going to turn around for them. I was like, oh man, Forza's looking good. Halo Infinite's looking good. I want to actually play these games looking good. And this was before I built my PC. So I got fooled. Yo, Livewire 4K was good with you, bro. That was the best year just because of those two games, and Halo was fucked up when it came out.
2022 was a light year for Xbox as far as releasing titles. Now, last year, during the showcase, you had the 12-month plan. You didn't necessarily deliver on all the games coming.
No, we didn't deliver. Not necessarily. We didn't deliver.
Absolutely. So my point of bringing that up is this, talking about some of the lessons learned that come out of that. And obviously, even with not every game making the 12 months, going back to, again, game development, things happen, things aren't always going to come on time. But as we go into this showcase, one of the common themes that I hear is I don't know enough about things that you've announced in the past, like even more specifically going back to 2020. And I'll just run down a quick list of it. Vowed, Perfect Dark, Everwild, which is something we really don't know that much about. Fable, State of Decay 3, Contraband. Obviously, we've seen a little more in Hellblade 2. We have studios like In Exile and Compulsion Games that we know are working on things, but we haven't seen any real updates on that. So I titled all my questions Balance and Communication, because even in this, it's like, what is that balance on when you show something that is going to be years down the road, and kind of that cadence of providing updates along the way. And obviously, as we go into this showcase, not that you need to reveal anything specific here, but what were some of those lessons learned from last year's showcase that you'll bring into this one?
Yeah, and you might try to get me on positive. I'm not in positive mode this week, so I'll apologize for staying in kind of cranky mode. But in terms of lessons learned, and I'll even go back to the Redfall videos on IGN of showing videos of the game running at 60 on PC, at the point knowing that the game was going to run 30 frames per second at launch on console. Like, we have to be transparent about what we're showing, that what we're showing is representative of what our console customer, our most committed customer to our brand.
We got caught. We're sorry. That's why we're sorry, because we got caught.
Financially committed, what they're going to see, what they're going to play, and that transparency just has to get better. And I'm not pointing at anybody but myself, right? I guess at some point I will have enough knocks against me that.
Damn, sorry to hear that, Livewire. Hope things pick up for you, bro. I try when I'm working, man. I come home. It's just like I just try to forget that shit, because it could really get to you, man. But yo, just relax. Do what makes you happy. Probably maybe don't play Jedi Survivor if it's still buggy. Play something that puts you in your happy place, bro.
It's somebody else here, but that I think it's transparency in what we're building, what our aspiration is for the game, what it's going to look like, what the features are. And it drives me crazy when we self-inflicted wounds of kind of putting things out there of communication that's confusing or misleading about what the actual end product is going to be. So you can try to take me to positive space. I'm just not in that headspace right now. That said, when I go and I look at Showcase, and I'm not going to try to oversell Showcase here, because if I were on the other side of watching this, it's like, hey, after Redfall, I'm going to put my hands on the controller, and that's what's going to take to kind of prove to me. But that's not what Showcase is. So um, I'm very enthusiastic about Showcase. We're going to announce some things that people haven't seen, some new games. We're going to give updates to some of the things that were on your list. The other thing that gets me really
That's the most interesting thing right now. You said some of the things on the list that Paris listed. Avowed, bro. Please just give me Avowed. That's all I've been waiting for like 3 fucking years. It is the alternative to Elder Scrolls that's not Bethesda. Yo, Trace Scoochie, bro. Hope you're doing well, fam. Good to see you. But that's what I've been waiting for years. We only have a CG trailer. Please just show us Avowed. I don't care about Grounded. I don't care about Pentiment. I just want Avowed. I just want Outer Worlds 2. There was definitely some more interesting things on that list, particularly, what is it? Perfect Dark, which I heard was in development hell. Those things are, hopefully that they show something and it's crazy because it's like you think like why does Perfect Dark is a simple shooter. I hope that they're not trying to do anything extra to it, and that's why it's in development hell. But
excited is when I look forward over the next quarters, which has always been my focus of how do we get a big game out every quarter at quality, that things are lining up finally after some of the slowdown through COVID. I'm tired of talking about that.
Yeah, literally. But real quick, before we do continue, I just want to skip to the later part of this this interview, but with this showcase, it's going to be airing June 11th, so I'll probably be streaming it if I don't know what day June 11th is, but if I'm free, I'll obviously stream it. And it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern time. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they're going to show. It's hard to get your hopes up for Xbox. It's one of those things, but you can tell that the only reason why they announced this particularly, like, when they did is because Redfall was a dud. So are you just going to sell us on more duds, or are you going to keep stringing us along? At this point, need a guess for the stream? I mean, we have the... Next time, bro. Next time. Probably, if you want to come back on Too Real for Feels, bro. Because I don't want to make it like a super long stream. Obviously, if you come on here, I want to give you adequate time and all that to have your moment. But if you want to come on Too Real for Feels podcast again, you're more than welcome to. About not coming till 2026. That's probably the case. Who knows, man? But there needs, like, honestly, they can't keep selling us and stringing us along. At this point, I feel as though Microsoft has just been announcing things that they know weren't going to come out nearly at the times that they said that they were. Anything to just string players along to continue with Game Pass. That's how I feel at this point. Because you can't tell me after multiple games being delayed for well over a year. Redfall got delayed like 18 months. Starfield got delayed. Looked like dog shit when they showed it. They have to show... They're going to show Starfield. If that game does not look significantly better than when it did when they first showed it off, that's not good. And it better be, and it needs to be like straight up gameplay, not cuts. Like somebody going through the game and everything, looking like tip top, the graphics looking better, the frame rate looking better, the gunplay looking decent. The AI has to improve. It has to. These are key things that are important for Starfield, man. Yo, Dragoon Knight, what's good with you, bro? Talking about June 11th. Oh yeah, sure. If you want to pull up for June 11th, definitely, bro. We could definitely run that for sure. I probably have some of the boys on too. That seems to be the most fun for like a live stream event. So we could definitely run it. The June 11th is on a Sunday. Appreciate that, Astro. Yeah, Sunday is definitely good for sure. It is kind of weird that it's on a Sunday, but this needs to be good, man. Starfield Direct, a deep dive into Bethesda's game studio's highly anticipated sci-fi RPG. Join us for new surprises and first looks at incredibly talented internal studios and our many creative partners around the world. This is the day gamers have been waiting for to see what is coming to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass. Starfield Direct will invite you inside Bethesda's game studio to learn much more about Starfield and tons of new gameplay, developer interviews, and behind-the-scenes insider information. All that matters is how the game is running and is this consistent gameplay. That's all I care about. I'm sorry, I don't want to hear from developers anymore. We hear about them enough on Twitter with their asinine takes. Just show me if the game is truly improved from when they first showed it off. Because to me, that shit looked like an Xbox 360 game at best, with terrible AI and just overall unfulfilling mechanics. I mean, I'm not expecting this game to be necessarily insane by any means. Bethesda's open world RPGs are more so for the story aspects and the roleplay elements, but their roleplay elements have diminished as time has gone on. I have a feeling Starfield is going to come out much better than Redfall. Bethesda's hyped it up too much for it to come out terrible. You know, General, honestly, I agree with you. I think that in the very least, I think that Starfield will be better than Redfall. If Microsoft had any self-awareness at all. The problem is, I don't know anymore. They say all this stuff. They say the things that you want to hear, that they admit that they were wrong, but they still continue to do the same fucked up shit over and over and over again. So, General, I feel as though you're correct, and I feel like that's the proper take, but it just depends. Like, do they care? Do they care? I don't know anymore. But yeah, going back to this, kind of just, let me see.
Technical. Not every game we ship is for everybody. We know that. Like, I don't want to build, I'm not.
And they ship some games that are for nobody. I'm sorry, Redfall is for nobody. Redfall is for nobody. Games that launch broken are for nobody.
Trying to build the one game to rule them all. We will have different creative takes and we have a very diverse portfolio when you think about the stuff that Microsoft Game Studios.
And honestly, it's not just Microsoft that's the problem. It's the whole industry. The level of quality assurance is at an all-time low across the entire industry. So Jinpachi says, I have a wait and see policy these days, Cassie. And I do too, for the most part. Because it's normal to launch broken games now.
Builds. But I like that. I think for what we're trying to do as Xbox, which isn't to mimic any of the other platforms out there, it's create our own brand and identity. The diversity of what we build, hopefully, will end up being a strength. But we have to do it at quality. We have to do it on time.
And you know what? To give Phil Spencer credit here, it's good that they have a diverse lineup of games. Because I wholeheartedly believe not every game is for everybody. That's why you have to make different sorts of games that appeal to different sorts of people. Delta says diversity hires. Diversity in terms of different types of games are a positive thing. Now, if you're gonna do diversity hires, people that can't make video games, but you're gonna hire them because they have a vagina or their skin isn't white, I mean, then you wonder why your games end up fucked up, because you're looking at arbitrary things and not necessarily the ability of the individual. But overall, when it comes to different sorts of games, yeah, passion projects don't end up being too good. Have you seen these devs on Twitter? I try to avoid them at all costs because they always have a dumb fuck take after dumb fuck take. Yeah, a lot of them are diversity hires. A lot of their PR specifically are diversity hires. A lot of them tend to be a lot of annoying ass fucking white women, not for nothing.
And we have to show people what they're actually going to see. We have to show gameplay, and I think I'm kind of beyond that. Like,
they need to start showing games that are running on an Xbox. No more, like, and this is coming from me as a PC gamer. I'm going to play Xbox's games on PC Game Pass. But to prove to their core Xbox fan base, and this is beneficial even to a PC gamer. What is this game gonna look like running on an actual Xbox? No, this is a PC that's running at Xbox settings. None of that shit. Prove to us that this game is gonna look good on an official Xbox. I want to see the person there with the controller. I want to see the Xbox booted and playing the game, and I want him to fiddle with the stick. You need to prove that that shit is running and not just like teaked.
We've got to put great games in the hands of our players. There's nothing else.
If I could follow up on that, and I apologize, I do not want to dominate the conversation, but I make sure I want to follow up on the point of everything that you just said, and I'll take it from a personal standpoint. I've been a big believer in what Xbox has been building since about 2016, right? Xbox Play Anywhere, Game Pass, what you're doing with the Series X and S, just the cloud initiative, everything. I love all the services and the marketing message that you present to the community. But to your point, and for me personally, I have Game Pass. My kids play it. We all love it. But you even mentioned, delivering quality experiences every.
Phil sounds defeated, and he is with the yellow chair guy. Yeah, pretty much. It should be illegal for companies to get special funding based upon what color or gender people are. Cringe should be illegal. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that kind of stuff, it really does affect the quality of production, the quality of everything. I mean, you have to look at what people bring to the table. That's really what it boils down to, and that's less and less of a thing now, and it's showing in the industry, and COVID's definitely didn't help the scenario either.
Quarter, things like that. That's the sentiment that we get from the community right now. That's the sentiment that I even have of, it's great to talk about these things. I think we've been talking about them ad nauseum. It's like, when are we going to get to that point of actually delivering these experiences? Like I just ran down those games. There's 20 something studios. Forget Activision. Xbox Game Studios, what it is today. There's more than enough studios and titles out there that we're all anticipating. And I think that is the common frustration that I see out there from people, that it's like, we're tired of hearing wait till next year. And I know you know that, but
I know,
it's like,
I know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
This year started out well.
Yeah,
I
yes,
thought
it did.
Developer Direct was received well. The team did a really good job, I thought, with the messaging around to your point, around setting it.
Honestly, in my personal opinion, and I have not played Minecraft Legends, but so far, Xbox is 1 for 3. And the reason why I say that, despite not playing Minecraft Legends, Hi-Fi Rush is a hit. It's a solid game. At the end of the day, you may not like it, may not be for you. It's a good game, in essence. And it launched just fine day one. Everything about Hi-Fi Rush is cool. Nobody talks about Minecraft Legends. Delta, you were hyped about that game. And right after it came out, I don't hear you talking about that game no more. And then now, Redfall, bro. Redfall is a complete dud. That's just what it is. So far, to me, they are 1 for 3.
Expectation, and I will even say, yes, I'm rooting for the home team here, but I'll say over delivering on expectations of that show versus what it was. I think the drop of Hi-Fi to say, hey, if you've got Game Pass, you don't even have to buy the game. Like, just go click. People loved Hi-Fi. Something we don't talk a lot about, that same month, Age 2 on console shipped. Truth be told, more people are playing a bunch of people are playing Hi-Fi and Age 2, but Age 2.
What the hell is Age 2? What the fuck even is that? Is that something I should be looking into? Hold on, I'm about to pull up my Game Pass. Are you talking about Age of Empires? I see. Age of Empires 2. Didn't that game launch like a long-ass time ago? Yeah, Age of Empires. Okay, it came out the 31st. Nobody talks about these games. I didn't hear anyone bring up Age of Empires 2. I mean, I know it's a niche game, but like, there's no, like, they have games, and apparently Age of Empires seems to be a good game. Nobody talks about it
They have
though.
more players right now, but all the fanfare goes to the highly rated kind of new hi-fi. Get that. I know the review scores on Minecraft Legends. Minecraft, I think, always reviews somewhere kind of different than the top. But if I look at the reaction,
Hold
I think
on.
we've already had over 3 million people
Yeah, it's
playing. I
great.
saw like its launch week, it was the #1 retail game on the Switch in Japan, which isn't always where Microsoft sits in terms of sales. So I feel like momentum is building, and then something like Redfall happens, and the Xbox community.
Guys, Minecraft Legends on PC has a 67 meta. No wonder why no one talks about this fucking game. And the user score and the Metacritic score is pretty close. User score is 5.9, so it's a 60. Meta score is 67. So apparently the general consensus is that the game is not good. Another one. Another one. Cannoli, you're right, bro. What's good with you, bro? Yeah, it doesn't look good for Spencer. He looks completely just defeated. Intergalactic Mr. Pimpin. Yo, that name is awesome. Diablo 4 and Age of Empires supposed to bring PC gamers to Xbox. I mean, to be fair, they like PC Game Pass is popping. Like that's their most like their bread and butter. So honestly, I think guys, I think it's you're on the Xbox platform. Better consider PC. They're treating us better over here. Xbox was supposed to bring WoW to Xbox also. So that's officially dead? Is that the case? Because I know that was a thing. And did League of Legends come over as well? Age of Empires 2 is so old that I remember cheat. How do you turn this on? Oh yeah. So that's specifically like tied around the deal. I thought that they were just gonna work to bring it over anyway, because you don't necessarily need a deal, like the deal to go. You don't need the ownership of Activision to simply port WoW to Xbox, right? WoW on Xbox is dead if the deal is dead. That's rough.
Community should demand a lot from us as a team. Where we sit inside of Microsoft, we've got the resources to do better. 2022 was, as you said, a very light year, I think is what you said. I might have other words for it. And then
dead year. Gaming is in the most boring fucking state ever in my lifetime. I can't speak in the 80s. I know that, there was a massive crash in the 80s. But look, Xbox was dead last year. PlayStation is dead this year. I'm fucking bored. Not for nothing, guys. Literally, no games. No games. Xbox needs this merger to happen, otherwise they're... I mean, but to be fair, if they acquired Activision, Cannoli, are they suddenly going to release good games? They've acquired Bethesda, and look at Redfall. The game fucking sucks. I'm concerned that Xbox is a cancer to anything that they acquire. I mean, I think that's fair to, pose that possibility. So what if Xbox acquires Activision, and then the following Call of Duty that essentially, and Call of Duty is notorious for launching in a working state. I hate Call of Duty, but you have to give them props for that. What if it comes to the point that the Call of Duty that's with Activision under Xbox launches broken as fuck? We have to consider these possibilities. What's the point then? Call of Redfall? Ratchet and Clank brought me out of my funk, and Dead Island 2. Bro, you eating good right now, Livewire. You eating good. You chose some good games. Still have Like a Dragon Ishin and Lost Judgment to get to still. Dude, I need to play Lost Judgment. I'm trying to finish. I might So on Kick, I'm about to finish up Mafia 2. I'm thinking of playing Mafia 3 and then Lost Judgment. I want to give Mafia 3 a fair chance. Nope, it feels like there's an internal issue with Xbox management. Yeah, I agree. And with this deal, it feels like they're just kicking the proverbial can down the road with this deal. Yeah, it's like let's just spend a lot of money for people to get excited, but we're not necessarily fixing our issues. Because Xbox has an insane amount of developers under their belt now. There's no excuse for them, and they've had a lot of these developers for a really, really long time. There's no excuse to have inconsistent releases. There's no excuse for them to have a whole year where they release nothing besides what, Scorn? Who gives a fuck about that game? There's no excuse. There's no excuse for the games to launch broken. There's no excuse. They've had these developers for a really long time. Just adding more developers to an already broken state of affairs doesn't necessarily make the situation better. It's just, I don't even want to say it's a band-aid. It's like there's nothing wrong with Xbox in terms of them needing stuff. Like in terms of them needing creators. They have all the creators. They just can't get a set schedule of interest. Mafia 2 is great, so is Lost Judgment. Yes, I completely agree.
2023, we started well, and this was a knockback. But it's our job to go and deliver on the next games. I can only look forward, right? I can sit here and wallow in my own frustration, but all I can do is say I'm going to do better tomorrow than I did yesterday, and continue to support the teams and continue to grow. But yeah, I think it is ours to prove that. I can say now, and everybody can already stop. I don't want to hear what Phil has to say about the future, and I kind of fully respect that point of view. That we've got Starfield coming, we've got Forza coming, we've got Hellblade coming. Like, we've got collections of games. I'm seeing very good builds of Avowed and stuff. Like, we're in, like, I can see it. Avowed, please. Yeah, I think we're gonna see Avowed. I don't want to get hyped, but he's saying good builds of Avowed. I think we're gonna see Avowed next month. You're not wrong, Delta. Just keep holding on. Just please hold on a little longer. It's true. It's true. It's sad, but like me as a gamer, I will fall into it at least a little bit. Now, you know, I always am suspicious. Naturally, I'm always fucking suspicious. But as a gamer, I just want good games. So I'm holding out fucking hope here. I'm holding out hope that they will not destroy Obsidian. But they've destroyed Rare. And now Arcane is looking sus. Looking sus. They didn't really have necessarily a bad game release that I've seen. You either like their games or you don't. There's some issues with their games, but this is the first release. Redfall is the first release from Arcane where there's nothing even remotely good about it. No, Michelle, please don't apologize. Happy to have you here whenever you do pull up. I appreciate you. But until you have a controller in your hand and you're smiling from playing our games, none of my words should matter.
Shout out to Honey for sponsoring this.
Fuck your sponsorship, bitch. Here's the thing. He's saying that his primary goal, supposedly, is for gamers to enjoy the games, for them to play good games. But what he goes on to say just feels like the opposite.
And you shipped it anyway. So EA, Respawn, for even on a massive, fascinated, as you might know, I'm fascinated by the subject of failure because I've experienced a lot of it in my own career and in my personal life as well. And I think about it a lot. The number one quote that I stole from a person much smarter than me, I talk about it all the time when I talk about writing at creative seminars and things like that, is failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. But that's only true if you can get past feeling sorry for yourself when something fails and sift through the rubble and start figuring out, well, what can we learn? What can we learn from this failure? What can we take from this? What is teachable? And so I wanted to ask Phil, both in general and in the case of Redfall, I know you said you were going to work towards kind of turning the game around, but like, do you have a follow-up process? And what does it look like in the case of Redfall when something doesn't meet expectations? Is it something you get into right away, or do you wait for the dust to settle? What is the post-mortem process? What is the what went wrong, and how do we prevent this from happening again process look like at Xbox?
Yeah, it's a great point, and I think I love your quote, Gary. I might lift that from you. People don't have to care about this, but I'll talk about it. When we acquire studios, there's games that are in development when we acquire a studio, and then there's things that are either really early in development or not even conceived yet. And I think we need to improve on engaging in games that are midway through production when they become part of Xbox. I do think there's a different expectation for a game and even a team when you've been third party and all of a sudden you become part of first party.
No, that's bullshit. The main expectation of any video game is to work and be fun. Now, the fanboys and shit that are super into the whole like console warring with exclusives and whatnot, they're outliers. They're in the minority. Most people that are just simply interested in games just want to play good games. There's no different level of expectation. Obviously, we look to you because you are the console manufacturer, but on a basic level, people just want good playing games. This fucking guy. Yeah, it's just more wait till E3, but E3 doesn't exist anymore. I think Mafia 4 is taking place before Mafia 1. I heard about that, Revenant. I'm interested. I can't help it. I know a lot of people probably gonna be turned off by that shit, but I don't mind. 1920s peak organized crime and prohibition. Exactly. Mafia 4 lore should take place in Las Vegas in 1970s and 80s. I wouldn't mind. Honestly, I'm dying for a game that takes place in the 70s. Fucking dying for it. Like, Mafia 3 was like 68, so it's not the 70s yet. But anything around, like, anything inspired by, like, you know, those Gotti times, like John Gotti and all that, I would be interested in that. You can learn not to release a game before it's done, not rocket science. Exactly. Why is this so difficult? Yo, Black Metal Gamer was Gucci, bro. He said, get rid of him and Sean Layden to be head of Xbox. That would be a major, that would be a major new to, blow to Sony. I'm assuming you're saying blow to Sony, and he would be good. Honestly, and while I did have some issue with Sean Layden, he would be a perfect fit. That was actually the best recommendation I've heard thus far for someone to take, take the reins at Xbox. Because at the end of the day, Sean Layden was passionate about the games. And he did provide the games.
There's a different expectation in terms of how you're going to perform on our console. I think there's a different competitive set when people look at what this game is and the other games that they're going to say, hey, I want this game to feel as competitive as this other game on another console platform in our case. And we didn't do a good job early on in engaging with Arcane Austin to really help them understand what it meant.
He thinks that everyone, he listens to these console fanboys too much, man. These console fucking Kremlins. He thinks that people expect Xbox to match Sony blow for blow. That's not the case. I don't want you, and a lot of the fanboys want that shit. And that's just, but fanboys, console Kremlins are literally, they are the minority. They are the minority. You don't have to match Sony blow for blow, but you have to provide noteworthy content. It might be antithetical to try and match Sony blow for blow. It might be literally antithetical. If you're going, like with Indiana Jones, it's like Indiana Jones is an iconic, an iconic property in film. But at the same time, it's gonna be just your version of Uncharted. Some motherfuckers just say, why not just play Uncharted then? You're not going to draw people over by matching Sony blow for blow. You have to be your own unique style. Do your own games. I like when he's talking about that there's different types of games that is in, that's in the whole, that Xbox is working on overall. That's a good thing. Don't match Sony blow for blow, but you need to provide quality. provide quality consistently, provide good, thoughtful games, and variety, true variety. Because what I'm getting from when he says, "Oh, there's a lot of different experiences on Xbox," a lot of them seem to be AA in nature. When he's saying that all these AAA quality dev teams are choosing to make AA games, and that artistically he's going to allow that to happen, that just means that you're trying to like equate like how do you say it? Like equate like diverse sets of games to we have AA games too. And that's not necessarily a good look. There's a difference between fans and fanboys. Facts. Sony will always outsell Xbox. That's true too. I mean, like, it really, the thing is, if Xbox can transcend like the box itself, then Xbox could potentially have a chance. But that's their only chance. They have to transcend the box. You can't stay on Xbox. That's a dead platform. That is you're not looking towards the future. And I know that hurts a lot of Xbox fanboys, but that's just the reality of the situation. They can't win on the Xbox alone.
To be part of Xbox and part of first party, and use some of our internal resources to help them and kind of move along that journey even faster. So we kind of left them to go work on the game. They're a very talented team. I love that team, and I still do, and I will totally bet on them to do another great game. But when like Matt Booty and Jamie Leaders, Renan Zenimax, and I sit down, I think we can engage earlier with our different studios. And I do think there's a difference when we come in when the creative's already set on a game. That's not washing our hands.
He's saying that they just leave the developers alone to make the game. They aren't checking up like they should be. And it shows. It is shown for years. And it's like it took you this long to realize that maybe, while we're letting the developers make the games that we want, maybe we should make sure that they're meeting, deadlines and doing what they need to do on their part. Because look, unmanaged workers are going to work not as well as they would if they were managed. That's just the reality of it. Xbox can be competitive if they just actually, make games. It's like an overweight person that'll do anything to get in shape except diet and exercise. Facts. It's clear that nothing will be done. This hands-off approach is clearly is not working. Facts.
Of any of the every game we ship from our teams is an Xbox game, and so it's a full responsibility for it. But thinking about how our internal processes of dev assistance, even some of our internal ATG resources, what's the Advanced Technology Group, and how those work with our internal teams, I think we can do a better job with our.
They have all these resources and they can't get good working games out day one. That's the disgusting thing of it all. Microsoft is an overly inflated company. So much so they had to have massive layoffs. And to be fair, with the COVIDs and all this other, recession, I understand that situation from a company's perspective, but this is an overinflated company with all these assets and they still can't get good games out.
Internal teams. We did a better job with Starfield. Again, nobody should believe it until they're playing the game, but that game was earlier on in production, and it was easier for us to kind of swarm a bunch of people to go and kind of help with some of the technology on our platform and ensure that we're going to ship a quality experience there. And we should have been there for Harvey and the team earlier. I think that's on us. And then through the process, it's an Unreal game. We have a bunch of studios that have done some really great work on Unreal over the years. And I think we were too late to help in that when they had certain issues that they were working through, which any team will. It's nothing to do with the specific.
Yep, COVID is still an excuse. We're tired of hearing it. Nobody cares.
Engine, but we have a lot of experience, and we needed to get on that earlier with the team, and we didn't do that. And that's not an excuse. You asked just to kind of diagnose. So when the 60 frames per second issue came up, we were definitely diving in. We had people from the Coalition and people from Rare and stuff looking, both teams that have done some really great work with Unreal to help us build a 60 FPS plan. But obviously that was a plan that had to be in place last fall in order for us to really be in a position to have it at launch. And I take that as learning, as painful as it is. But as you said, You know, it's part of getting to success are those learnings and that diagnosis. There's a bunch of other stuff I could go into, but then we end up with kind of
this is all just content. They don't care. They just thought throwing games on Game Pass was gonna be enough. And they're realizing that that's not the fucking case. They're realizing that, oh, gamers have standards. They're not these dumb motherfuckers that just consume. They actually have the power to go on in these spaces. Now, it's not just forums with where the dorks type on the forums anymore. No, it's Twitter. It's projected on YouTube. Like, you can't just throw shit on Game Pass and it be, dog shit and that people are going to accept. It doesn't work. I don't understand why it took them this long to realize this, or even if they truly do realize it. Why is it that you didn't promote Minecraft Legends? Why is it that it came out also not very good? Nobody even talked about how poorly received Minecraft Legends was. Or it wasn't received at all because nobody seems to care. And that's one of your biggest franchises. Minecraft is arguably one of the biggest franchises in all of gaming. And the side games for Minecraft are just the most uninspired shit. They should have delayed Redfall and actually made sure that Minecraft was going to be a good game day one and heavily promoted Minecraft Legends because it seemed like there was something interesting there.
dev doc, which I'm happy to do, but yeah.
Well, Phil, we don't have much time with you, so I'm going to go around the table, give everybody one final question for Phil. I'm going to rattle off a couple quick ones with you, Phil. Of course, we talk about 60 frames, 30 frames. Should Xbox players expect a clear message this summer with Starfield with 30 and 60 frames? That's a big lesson learned, as you brought up. Should we expect that answer? It's clear as day?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great one. Another one, you see a lot of conversation, of course. I want to praise you and the team for really elevating the PC side of this Xbox ecosystem. I think we've seen a lot of great strides in that. But when you see the community talk about the console side of things, do you think you've lost the focus or maybe put too much onto the PC side? Do you think that the console is still getting the console love that it deserves, whether it be the homepage update, achievements, of course, looking forward and using the power of this next gen? Do you think you guys have lost that focus, or is it still there, and can we see more love on that side?
Well, we'll definitely continue to focus on making our console experience as great as it can be. I like the homepage refresh and some stuff. I will say, this might be disruptive as well. We have a different vision. You know, Paris talked about this. It's play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want. We want Xbox to be something that people who buy our console can feel like they're a member of, obviously, who are playing on.
He just told you right there that while they're trying to give the console experience, console Kremlin's a good experience, they don't really give a fuck about you. If that doesn't tell you that just in the beginning of this, I don't know what else to tell you.
PC who are playing on cloud, that they feel like they're full members of our ecosystem. Game Pass players can play on many different devices, and we remain fully committed to that. We're not in the business of out-consoling Sony or out-consoling Nintendo. There isn't really a great solution or win for us. And I know that will upset a ton of people, but it's just the truth of the matter is that when you're third place in the console marketplace.
Yo, when he admitted that, I was like, oof. Oof.
And the top two players are as strong as they are and have, in certain cases, very, very discrete focus.
Phil has admitted he is indeed defeated on the consoles in regards to the console war. So this whole console warring, bickering bullshit on Twitter, they don't give a fuck about that. He doesn't care about this war on the consoles. He's already accepted that they have no potential of being on top. And they've tried for many generations to make the Xbox brand not just a North American brand. And it's all kind of like, they were close with 360, but they can't return. They can't hit those numbers again. So they've abandoned the whole we're pushing the console first and foremost. That's over with. That's just a reality that Xbox console players will have to accept.
Focus on doing deals and other things that will that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team. That's on us, not on anybody else. Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform.
That's all talk. That's all talk. You guys are old news. I'm sorry that is the case. It's one of those things where as someone that's a fan of games, I feel as though everyone in the Xbox ecosystem should be treated like across the board, very, very, very well. But that's just not going to be the case. They're looking at their mission, and they already have Xbox players. They already got you. They already know that they got you. And the fact that he's confirming that he has said himself with what he's going to say here, that essentially people that have their digital library of games, they're not going to move anywhere else. So he knows that console Kremlins that are stuck on Xbox, they're not going to move for the most part. And if they do move, does he really give a fuck at this point if some of them do? Because some of them will move, not all of them. He doesn't care because he's not going after you. He's not begging you to become an Xbox console player. He's not begging you for that. He wants to get cloud gaming going. He wants the mobile shit. He wants the PC players. That's what is the most successful. That's where they have a chance.
But we are not in a position, and I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of games. So when you go and you're building on Xbox, we want our Xbox community to feel awesome. But this idea that if we just focused more on...
Yo, Pierce Taylor, he says people are leaving Xbox going to PlayStation or PC. Look, a lot of people just simply say that. A lot of them are just talking out of their ass, and there will be some that leave, but not the mass majority. Not the mass majority. And if you do go, if Xbox fans do happen to go over to PC, guess what? There's PC Game Pass anyway. So they don't care. They don't care. Matter of fact, they probably want to encourage console Kremlins on the Xbox console to go over to PC anyway. Because to them, in the mindset of Xbox is the console format is outdated for their scheme. What their plan is in the future. That's just what it is.
On great games on our console, that somehow we're going to win the console race, I think doesn't really lay into the reality of most people. Like 90% of the people every year who walk into a retailer to buy a console are already a member of one of the three ecosystems.
See, he's specifically talking about the console experience. Here's the problem. He's saying that good games aren't going to make people come to the console. But if you don't have any good games, they're not going to come anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's on mobile. It doesn't matter if it's on PC. You have to have good games to garner interest in your overarching platform, not just the console itself. Yo, Delta, he is talking from a loser's perspective. You are asking people for their money, for your products. You must provide a good product that warrants the price tag. You can't ignore that shit. You can't ignore that shit and say, woe is me, we lost the most important generation because of everyone's back catalog. They already have a back catalog of games. That doesn't mean anything. You are still asking for people's money and you are providing garbage content for that. First and foremost, you have to make good games. I understand what Xbox is going for, what Microsoft is going for with the gaming space. He's saying that isn't the only thing you need to do to win. And I agree to that, but it is the most important thing. Good games is the foundation of a gaming platform. And if you don't have that, then the foundation is fucked. Straight up.
And their digital library is there. This is the first generation where the big games that they're playing were games that were available last gen. When you think about Fortnite and Roblox and Minecraft, like the continuity.
Woe is me, woe
from
is me, woe is
generation
me.
to generation is so strong. I see a lot of pundits out there that kind of want to go back to the time where we all had cartridges and discs, and every new generation was a clean slate, and you could switch the whole console share. That's just not the world that we are in today. There is no world where Starfield's an 11 out of 10 and people start selling their PS5s. That's not going to happen. So what we have to do.
Sounds like beta baby bitch. Reality is, man, if you build it, they will come. People will flock to wherever they have to go to get good games, but you're not providing good games. You're providing just filler content. And they're not necessarily a gamer, somebody that's interested in games, forget the whole fanboy bullshit, a gamer that wants games. If the game is on a platform they're not super interested in, but the game is good, they want it, they will find a way to play that game. And Xbox's avenue is first to make the games that people want to flock to one of your many other platforms to play. If it be the mobile cloud gaming, if it be the PC, if it be the Xbox, you're providing all these different ways to access these games. But if you don't have the games that people want to flock to these options to, then they're not going to do it. That's really what it boils down to. That's what they don't get. Redfall should just be taken off of every platform that it's sold on. Take it off and refund people. Stop releasing bad games. Otherwise, people will not flock to your many options that you have out there to play them. Jinpachi says, people will play games regardless. It's all excuses. What the fuck does a back catalog have to do with anything? Gamers will make time. I've always, like, bro, I never had a platform mindset, a fanboy mindset. I always had a preference every generation, but like, it's one of those things where you could win me over. Like, you know, PS1 and N64, I was so young back then. I just enjoyed playing on any platform. It didn't matter to me personally. I was like 7. I didn't fucking know the concept of. I just know that these boxes, you know, was called a PlayStation and a Nintendo 64, and I just wanted to play games on them. So I really didn't have a preference that generation. You know, what is it? 6th gen. I was a mostly PS2 player, but that was because fucking Dragon Ball Z games were exclusive mostly to PS2. And then the handheld games were exclusive to, well, some of them were exclusive to GBA. So, you know, that gen I was mostly PS2, but I played my GameCube, man. I enjoyed GameCube. I had third-party games on the GameCube as well. I didn't give a shit. Then freaking 7th gen, I was all 360 for the mass majority of that. For the mass majority. Then 8th gen, PS4. Now more so PC, but I have everything. So it's like, it's just insane that they think that everyone, like, there's just, it's antithetical. Their mindset where they're trying to put everything everywhere, all their games across all these options to play them on, but their mindset is people will not sell that PlayStation 5 for our stuff. You're creating a platform that is more than just the console. You're creating a platform that people can easily flock to all these options so you can coexist. Literally, what you've been building is a way to coexist and beat the whole console mindset. So I don't understand his thought process here, because it's antithetical to Microsoft's goal in gaming for years now. It's just very strange that he would say this. It just doesn't make sense. I have an Xbox and PlayStation. Neither one affects which games I will buy. A good game is released, I will play it. Yeah, exactly. Yes, good games is his most important thing. Microsoft could have dominated. They have $1.8 trillion to play with. They screwed up. Exactly. It's like they have all these money, they have all these assets. There's no reason that they can't have good games and that games that people want to go out of their way to play. Same with N64 and PlayStation, both had good games. I think the problem now is Xbox has nothing. We all have a preference, but we will play good games as adults. We can afford multi-consoles, so just make one worth playing. Yeah. It is a loser's mindset, Michelle. Phil has had the same look since the VGAs.
And we have this unique vision because we see what creators want to do. Creators want to build games that can meet players on any screen. People play with their friends regardless of what other screen they're on. And the console is the core of the Xbox brand. There's no doubt. So like we will stay focused on making sure that console experience is awesome. But I know some people want to hold us up of just being a better green version of what the blue guys do. And I'm just going to say, like, there's not a win for Xbox in staying in the wake of somebody else. We have to go off and do our own thing with Game Pass.
This statement that he's had overall is just super mixed signals. It just doesn't make sense to me.
With the stuff we do with xCloud and the way we build our games. Sorry, I was a little long-winded.
No, that was perfect. And unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to you, Phil. I know that we have a hard out.
Guys, this is a defeatist mindset. And it's weird to be this way. It's antithetical to be this way. Overall, that's just what it is. It's antithetical to what Xbox has been building. And I support what they're building. I've been saying personally that Xbox, the way they win is through PC. And even through cloud gaming. And I hate cloud gaming. But that's the way that they will win. In terms of competing against PlayStation. PlayStation's at a massive disadvantage on PC. They're now trying to get into PC. And they're having, they're just figuring out the reins of that. Whereas Microsoft, they have literally the most popular operating system on PC that has taken advantage of the, basically, they're trying to integrate Xbox into the PC experience. As though it's normal. So naturally, they have the power to outdo PlayStation on PC. PlayStation doesn't have cloud infrastructure that they need to really compete. With cloud gaming, with mobile gaming, all that shit. They have the resources to put out great games, but Microsoft could care less about that. If they had great games, people would flock to wherever they can go to get them. That's how I've always been. If I'm really passionate about gaming, the problem is they just want to attract the mass majority of normies that only play Fortnite, Call of Duty, and GTA anyway. And that's why they're trying to buy Call of Duty, because then they would get those super duper normies on board with their platform. Yo, Miss Cannoli Sasquatch, thank you so much for tuning in. Yo, shout out to the Cannoli family, man. The Cannoli Sasquatch family. Good people overall. You think Game Pass is trying to be Steam 2.0? No one talks about that. That could very well be the case. I mean, it's... And they're not even necessarily trying to be Steam 2.0. They're trying to be a Netflix provider of video games on the PC platform. Delta says Phil really has to go. If he's spouting this type of mindset of basically giving up on the idea of delivering a great product to customers, then why should anyone buy their product? It's exactly. And you know what? I'm a proprietor of the problem too, because they assume that people don't mind spending that $10, $15 a month to have a mid-tier experience. And I pay the $10 a month. I don't care. PC Game Pass, I have instant access to a lot of games. And sometimes I don't even fuck with Game Pass very much. Streaming games is horrendous. I agree. I absolutely hate the concept of cloud gaming. I want it to fail. I mean, the big positive from the CMA decision is that it hinders cloud gaming. They're concerned with the growth of cloud gaming, but literally their decision hinders it. The irony, right? And I'm like, well, technically this is kind of a positive for me because I hate cloud gaming. Physical media is king, baby. And at least game ownership is extremely important to me, if it be digital or if it be physical. So cloud gaming, yeah, I don't really give a shit about that very much. Really don't want that to be the norm. I agree. When cloud gaming becomes the main way to play video games, I'm a retro-only gamer. That's what it is. That's how I am personally. So technically, the CMA deal kind of benefits and preserves my ability to enjoy new games for a longer period of time. Cannoli Sasquatch says, I use Nintendo, PC, PS5, and Game Pass. Good games bring me to any platform. Right now, I'm playing Nintendo and PS5 more. Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing, there's no excitement to the Xbox brand. And even when they have games, I mean, they have like 2 games, Minecraft Legends. Minecraft is their big name, and Minecraft Legends, what happened with that? Nobody talks about it. Came out and died. And it almost feels as though they have, given that it seems that the reviews are mixed for Minecraft Legends, they have no faith in their own products. And that's concerning. You have no faith and people know it, so they don't gravitate to your platform. Yo, Big Cloud, what up, homie? Always been a PC gamer. I despise Microsoft so much. I use Linux instead of Windows. I'm one of those. I'm still on Windows. When I feel comfortable enough with how Linux plays, how Linux is as a platform, if it's relatively user friendly, I do intend to switch over at some point, because I'm scared of Windows 11. I think that is absolutely fucking tyrannic in terms of what they're trying to push on Windows 11, and I refuse to upgrade. So I'm on limited time with Windows 10. So I'm hoping that Linux will be one day accessible for the dumb fucks like me. Just a heads up that now if you beat Breath of the Wild and all your horses and stuff in your house of champion, what? Ballard and more goes to. Ooh, okay. So shit carries over from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. That's cool. CMA took all the Game Pass subs and made them all cloud gaming subs, which factually is not true. I would not touch cloud gaming with a 10-foot pole, and I'm a Game Pass sub. So, but they're making it seem like every gamer plays on the cloud. It's very rare. Not very many gamers are into that shit. Most people don't have good enough internet for that. Cass, could we see a Blade video game? I would love to see that. I would love to see it. I would want Wesley Snipes to do the mocap and the voice acting. Let's get it going, man. Wish I can come on and chat with you. We'll have to chat in the server about this after. No, definitely. I'm gonna pull up to the server after this. Words Paris says, I work with Linux every day at my job. I don't want to touch it when I'm home on my leisure time. Yeah, it's like one of my homies, shout out to Ninth Pixel, he switched over to Linux, and it's been a learning experience for him. And he says, like, Linux is close to being, like, accessible more so. But It's not there yet. You know what, BitCloud? Like Jim Ryan when he said that PlayStation was nothing without Call of Duty. Jim Ryan himself said that shit. Now Phil Spencer's saying, man, like, we can't compete. We're losers. Is SAWFT soft? Yo, the leaders of PlayStation X and Xbox are some soft-ass bitches. Not for nothing. I'm gonna keep it 100 because I gave Jim Ryan that work when he said that shit. I'm like, yo, you sound like an asshole for literally throwing all your devs under the bus for COD. He sounded like a little bitch. And the same thing with Phil Spencer in this instance. You sound like a little bitch right now. Yo, Joints and Jams, what's up? He said, hi, Cass. They should have only put it on Game Pass, no stores, and apologize before release. I would have respected that. Yeah, no, honestly, I was saying that maybe Redfall should have went out on early access through Game Pass. I mean, it's still trash. It's still trash, but at least that's, you know, people wouldn't be nearly as upset about that. You release Redfall, a $70 game, in a broken, uninspired state. Entirely uninspired. And people will hold you to the standard of that price hike. Even at 60, Redfall is still, it's undeserving. Completely undeserving. Jipachi says, the funny thing, while Phil Spencer is embracing failure publicly, L.I. Bill Gates is laughing in a global elite accent. Oh, yeah. Just look into all the farmland that Bill Gates owns. It's concerning. Let's just put it that way. Pierce Taylor says, I'm a new follower. Have you done much emulation yet, Cass? I've done a bit of emulation. I can't talk about some of it. To be fair, for the most part, unless it's like really old titles, I do emulate games that I already own. I haven't felt the need to want to retaliate and steal games. If I feel as though if I don't want to buy your game, I just don't have any interest. If I hate you as a company, so that's a thing. But yeah, for the most part, I do delve a little bit in emulation. I wish I just wasn't so lazy, but I do it sometimes. You want Wesley Snipes to voice Blade and do all the motion capture? Hell yeah, bro. Hey, one day I'd love to stream with you guys, Cass. Could be fun. Might be difficult to set me up though. Yo. No, definitely, bro. I'm up for it. When the CEO just sees it as a soulless asset, we know conflict will incur. Facts. I feel sorry for the creative people who worked on Redfall and Saints Row. Saints Row is one of those things where now, you know, the people that just working on the project, they're just being, you know, told what to do, but they literally outright, like, Volition themselves outright said they're ashamed of their previous projects and that they're changing Saints Row. And then proceeded to be on Twitter and call their previous players, individuals, I can't say the word, but individuals who perform acts of terror. That's what they decided to call their previous players. Like, I don't feel sorry for that. And they didn't apologize for that either. Redfall, it's one of those things where it's really on account of the publishers. That game went through 2 publishers. Bethesda's a publisher and Microsoft is a publisher. And both of them said, oh yeah, launch it. People using Linux, I use PC Linux OS and U2. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Gates does not work for Microsoft anymore. Yeah, it's true. Emulation is amazing. That is what I got a Steam Deck for. Hell yeah. Isn't Saints Row getting DLC 2? Supposedly? I don't know if that game is just being strung along, but who knows? But yeah, guys, the future of Xbox, it really does. It doesn't look good, especially if you're a console Xbox player. You are no matter what they say that, oh, they care about you. Just know that you are an outdated format to them. That's just what it is. That's what I get from this. They want to say, we want to treat you like a first-class citizen, but their plan does not include you from a future-proofing perspective. So you have to take that into account. That's just what it is. Dead Island went through 4 studios, ended up delivering a better experience than Redfall and Jedi Survivor. Yeah, I need to pick up Dead Island too. Cassie Insomniac can make a Blade game. Yeah, I mean, they can make a Blade game. I don't see why not. At the end of the day, you're just a number on a spreadsheet. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. I mean, they're literally all that seemed to matter to Phil was how many times the game crashed. And he said, well, it was within the threshold of error. They didn't bother to actually establish how the game is running overall, the overall performance, the bugs, the glitches, the overall visual aesthetic. Is it pleasing? None of that matters. Just did the game crash a limited amount of times to warrant this being an acceptable launch? Windows 11 is a great upgrade, and upgraded and never looked back. I have no interest in going to Windows 11. I'm glad that that's more of a hardware configuration instead of waking up and one day seeing, oh, my PC upgraded to Windows 11. I'm glad that that's not the case. I'm just more concerned with the aspects of Windows 11 that seem to impede on the user's personal computer experience. You give up a lot of your privacy and overall rights as a PC user. So that fundamentally bothers me as a libertarian-minded individual. You'll switch to Windows 11 2025. Windows fanboys are cringe. Yeah, there's a fanboy for everything, man. Guys, I don't want to keep you guys any longer. It's about to be midnight here. But I really appreciate everyone that came through. Really great conversation overall. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the discussion. I appreciate all the thoughts, even if I don't necessarily agree with all of them or just whatever. It's great to have a level-headed conversation and damn good people in the chat. So thank you so much for tuning in, hanging out with me. Real quick, just seriously, guys, thank you, Scargut, Admiral Teague, and Zeno for the donations, man. Totally didn't have to, but appreciate you. Real quick, I also want to give a shout out to the channel members. I always appreciate y'all. So yeah, real quick, guys. Shout out to Hustle and Motivate, Our Carry, Get This Work, AB Limits, Alex vs. Evil, RC Scott, John Shepard, Orange Hat Reviews, Gray Early, Admiral Teague, Hargeet Chennai, Riz of Paradise, Damon's Ghost, Tokyo TZTV, Livewire 4K, Adriano Italiano, I'm in Rich Swag Lord, and Overcooked Octopus Foot. Awesome name. Thank you guys so much for believing in a special asshole like me. But also, guys, thank you so much for everyone who tuned in today. It was a great stream. You know, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on your way out. Thank you so much, Michael Joe, Alan Pittman, Goodall, Alex Recifa, Astro, Cyborg, Michelle Romeo, Joints and Jams. Thank you so much. Golf with Friends has better graphics than Redfall. This is facts, and I love Golf with Friends. We stand Golf with Friends here. Butch, thank you so much for coming through. Remnant, appreciate you, bro. Need to have you on the podcast, by the way. Also need to have Hypnotic as well. Cannoli Sasquatch. Hey, wouldn't mind having Cannoli Sasquatch on the Too Real for Fails podcast. He's a gamer as well. You know, tell Miss Sasquatch I said good night. Pierce Taylor, thank you for coming through. Michael Wells. Intergalactic Mr. Pimpin, BitCloud, Jen Pachi. So many good people. Delta, obviously. Appreciate you, bro. Let me see. Let me scroll up some more. Obviously, Livewire 4K, Kotaku the Great. So many people, man. Atreus, Xeno, obviously. Tolkien Daily, JJ, Chill Dogs. Guys, if I missed anyone, it's not intentional. Really, thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys. Yeah, guys. Floppy and send them out. Peace.